Looking in immaculate condition, beautiful setting for Test cricket. We've got the fort in the background and everything to play for. The pitch should take a lot of spin. Let's have a look and see what sides have been put together for both these teams. Sri Lankan captain Sangakkara Test heading it up. Marvin Adipati, well, he's the backbone of their batting. New batsman in Kumar Sangakkara, and Kumar Damasina back in the Test team after a 2-year break. Mutai Muralidharan, well, he holds the trump card for Sri Lanka, I feel. South African side led by Sean Pollock, first Test match. Gary Kirsten heading the top of the order. Neil McKenzie, debut player today. And Daryl Cullinan, well, back from an injury. Jonty Rhodes, Paul Adams being injured, back in the side to head up the spin with Nicky Bohir. A tough time awaits them in Sri Lanka, I feel. Well, the toss won by Sanath Jayasuriya, and he had no doubt in that he would bat first. Pollock once again into Sanath Jayasuriya. That one in the air between the two gullies and the 3 slips, or the 2 slips. That's gone for 4. That's the first boundary of the game. No third man in place.
So good fortune for Sanath Jayasuriya, sparring at the delivery outside off stump. Very fortunate that the ball just went into the gap between the 2 gullies and the slips. The only area where there was a gap, and Sanath Jayasuriya picks it with the ball going in the air. So very fortunate for Jayasuriya, picking up 4 runs in the process. So he's served cricket very well so far.
One cut away hard. Sanath Jayasuriya in his favourite area.
Well, that's the area that Jayasuriya revels in. Short, width, and opportunity to free his arms, and he makes full use of it.
He said very, very quickly to Jonty Rhodes. Get in the middle of the bat, powerful. Rhodes went down to try and stop it. I think it bounced badly just in front of him. The opposition spinners can use later on in the match. Not easy though. And that delivery just short outside off stump, and that's the area that Sanath Jayasuriya is looking for. Anything in that area, he is very, very quick to pounce on it. 7 overs, Sri Lanka now 24 for no loss.
So the land flag fluttering away, and that was the last shot by Sanath Jayasuriya. A cracking shot on the back foot, short, fairly straight bat, and beats the offside field. Plenty of open spaces there, but Jayasuriya picks the gap perfectly. That's past Rhodes. This is a quick outfield. And the ball just reaching the boundary line. So the width offered to Atapadu, and he was quick to pounce on it.
Atapadu loves it in that square region, very strong in the square region. Ball into his strength there. Just going comfortably right through that one. And all the way down to the boundary. Fielder not giving up the chase, going big effort there, but couldn't get his hands.
And the toss decided to bat. In fact, Jayasuriya had no hesitation in batting.
Lucky John, lucky boy.
And overpitched by Pollock there. Jonty Rhodes was the fielder. This ball was hit uppishly, and in fact put down by Rhodes. No wonder the hands were on the heads of Sean Pollock there. For a moment one thought it was a bump ball, but it actually went to him on the full, and by Jonty Rhodes standards he'll be disappointed with that, because this was the opportunity. Wickets of the new ball so important for the South Africans here. That's a good shot. Didn't try and hit it too hard, just a punch down the ground. And once again the ball will beat the fielder.
teaser here for Neil Mackenzie.
Natapatu didn't try to hit it too hard. He waited for it, waited on it. Spiker really doesn't have much space to come on, and really punched it through, didn't follow through it, didn't try to hit it too hard.
So 50 test matches for Johnny Rhodes. The other South Africans who achieved that landmark. Siconia 68, Alan Donald 62. He's not on this trip. Gary Kirsten, he's playing this game. 61 for him, 57 for Cullen. He's playing too. Nothing going South Africa's way. That last boundary really tells the story.
Really frustrating for Sean Pollock and South Africa. Slower delivery, well watched by Sanat Jayasuriya, just guiding it gently down. Very straightforward feeling here, but the awkward bounce right at the end there, waiting Anthony.
Plenty of drive patches in the outfield, and that's that bad bounce which has done Makaya Antini there. That's a fine shot. Nice way to bring up the 50 on the board for the Sri Lankans. Marvin Atapatu there, just easing into that drive.
Plays that beautifully, just timing it all the way through, getting the placement perfect. The width and the length was there for him, and he just went through with it all the way down to the cover boundary. A perfect cover drive from Marvin Atapatu, shifting the weight at the right time. 52 runs partnership between Atapatu and Jayasuriya.
Yes, and the worrying thing from the South African point of view is that it's come in such good time. That's nicely timed. A chase here for Adams. And this is another teaser. Once again, the ball will win, but it's made the fielder chase the ball all the way to the boundary line.
Jayasuriya really not hitting it too hard, just placing it through, just a punch. And Paul Adams had felt that he could have got to the ball, but the ball really moving away gradually and reaching the boundary.
Yes, Adams won't want to stretch too much. He's back after an injury. And this is a tremendous shot of the back foot. No need to run for that. Consecutive boundaries here for the Sri Lankan captain.
Sanat Jayasuriya just getting behind that one and timing it all the way to the boundary. Didn't hit it too hard, timed it beautifully, getting the placement perfect, right down to the boundary. Very strong on the square, side, and he's given the room there and punched it.
And 3 boundaries on the trot. The score motoring along at this stage. 64 for no loss, Sri Lanka.
Last over. Jacques Callis severely beaten by Sanat Jayasuriya. Beautiful shot through the extra cover region. Cut out to stem the flow. It's well driven by Marvin Atapatu, nice and full to him, and straight back past the bowler, classical off drive, and he's in good touch.
Oh, that was straight off the textbook, Marvin Atapatu. Classical drive, just leaning onto it and hitting it into the gap. Everything in place, just see that elbow, and there was 4 runs written from the time it hit the bat on the very minute. Certainly seems to be in very good touch. Not going through with the shot.
Well, Sanat Jayasuriya in full flow now. Jayasuriya brings up his 50 in style. It's a good shot.
So good innings by Jayasuriya. Runs were not easy to come by, but Jayasuriya, as soon as he got into his stride, he's been on a roll. And that time, once again, the width the ability to free his hands, and he sees the opportunity. A bit of a slice, but right through the infielders, taking the aerial route. And when he hits it, it stays hit. Very strong with that bottom hand of his. So that brings Jayasuriya's 50.
Well, this one just played away nicely on the ground with soft hands. There's no third man, and another boundary. That brings up that important 2,000th run for Marvin Adepatu.
So memorable moment for Adepatu. In fact, that shot was intentionally played, soft hands, gave it direction and guidance right through the gully and into the gap. There was no third man posting the boundary. So useful runs for Adepatu, bringing his 2,000 runs in international test cricket. And he's now on 27. Very good innings.
Marvin Adepatu, well, you'll remember this 2,000th run, important test match. And those are the leading run scorers for Sri Lanka. Aravinda de Silva right at the top, been dropped from this team. 84 tests, he scored 5,600, and then we look down and see Marvin Adepatu. Well, he comes into the frame now. 2002 he's got, and still batting, so he's got a way to go to the next one. Well, he starts with a dreadful delivery. That's a full toss, almost waist high, outside off stump, and you couldn't ask for anything better than that.
It's a bit of an anticlimax. Everyone's waiting to see how the pitch would respond, and Paul Adams disappoints with a full toss, where the batsman really puts it away quite easily for 4.
Well, it's not going to turn much out there, Ranjit. There's no doubt about it. And as expected, Sanath Jayasuriya is going to fetch him early. There's no doubt. He's going to try and dominate him. And he's hitting for 4. Second ball. That's 2 4s in a row. But strategy pretty clear from Sri Lanka.
But the intention's absolutely very evident. You could see the Sri Lankans looking to try and pick up as many runs as possible earlier on before the spinners look to try and dominate. Sanath Jayasuriya taking the attack to Paul Adams, and he picks up his second boundary with a shot he launches into orbit wicket.
Paul Adams going to have his work cut out here. Jayasuriya is going to look to attack him. And he's got that one away as well. That's gone through the extra cover field. And a run away. That's the third boundary in this over. So Paul Adams starts the first 3 deliveries. And the crowd here, well, they're enjoying this. They love to see Sanath Jayasuriya.
Yes, when Jayasuriya is in motion, he really motors along, and that one pitched up, and he cracks it into the vacant area, bisecting the fielders. His timing's been very, very good when he's on his stride.
Now Jayasuriya obviously is going to attack Paul Adams. The key is for him now is not to make a mistake. He's done the hard work the first 3 deliveries. He's probably mentally has the ascendancy right now. Got a bit of width off it to run Jayasuriya, and well, any width to Jayasuriya, and that brings up the 100 partnership. A well struck boundary.
So the runs continue to come for Sri Lanka at a very, very quick pace. Jayasuriya pitching into that one, a lot of width, and he frees his arms. So the partnership moving up to 103.
And he'll continue. That's another boundary. Overpitched, and Jayasuriya is a man in form. He's put that away comfortably. He's moved into the 70s with that shot.
The problem that Paul Adams has, he's not sitting to a good length. He's really been pitching it full or over pitching it for Sanath Jayasuriya to make full use of it. A batsman in form.
Yes, consistency is what's required now from the South African point of view. Too many boundaries have been scored. And that's another one. Now you just can't afford this kind of bowling, especially on the first day of a test match. 19 boundaries have already been struck, and we've not even had lunch on the first day of the test match.
Once again over pitch, nice juicy half volley for Sanath Jayasuriya. Very strong, right up to the front foot and smashed it right down to the boundary.
Well, what he's got to decide here is bowl on one side of the wicket. Just get his rhythm going. Yes, he's got to be closer to the off stump. That's better. They go up for the catch here. All the close-in fielders go up. The umpire isn't interested. 111 for no loss. Some appeal for the catch.
And going right through. May have to see a bit of deviation right at that point, and may have come off the glove.
Yes, the glove was very close to the ball. There obviously must have been a sound, because the instant reaction of the keeper was to go up.
And that, where you see the ball passing on that occasion, and you see, really couldn't see from that occasion, but when you see from the other angle, you can see a total deviation of the ball. Boucher very confident pitching, and on that point you see.
Yes, you can see the deflection there. Surya might just consider himself to be a little lucky. But that's a cracking shot of the back foot from Atapadu. That has a stamp of class written all over it. Good balance, good poise, good placement.
Short with a bit of width, and made full use by Marwan Atapadu. A few words from Klusner.
That's what the scoreboard says. Now that's frustration for the bowlers. He's taken the outside edge, but it's found the gap. There's no third man, so another boundary here for the Sri Lankan captain.
We haven't seen an outside edge at all. On that occasion, the ball taking the outside edge between the slip and gully and rolls all the way down to the boundary. Really cutting on that delivery. Sanat Jayasuriya brought forward. Nice line, nice length. Getting the edge by racing down to the boundary.
He's gone after that one. You give him width, and he doesn't mind even taking the aerial route in a test match. That's reached the boundary in a flash.
Given the width and the length there for Sanat Jayasuriya, getting under that one and smashing it to the cover region. Placed it well there. He's known to play it uppishly down there in the one days, but he's going through with it even in the test match. He's in good form.
Yes, one bounce over the rope. One can't help but get the feeling that the South African bowling has lacked the discipline. Runs have come on both sides of the wicket. Too many boundaries hit. And he's now cutting loose here. Once again in the air, but once again he finds the boundary. 3 boundaries in this over for Sanat Jayasuriya. He's raced into the 90s.
The form that Sanat Jayasuriya is in, it's really not hard. It's not easy for bowlers to really settle down. Anything loose, he really goes smashing it through. That's really not a delivery that would be smashed over the cover boundary for 4.
It's a landmark of sorts about to be reached here. You don't often see a batsman getting 100 in a session in modern day test match cricket. That's a lovely shot to end the over. Excellent placement and timing. 136 for no loss.
Paul Adams bowling 5 dot deliveries and then ending the over with a boundary. Slowly coming back into track, getting his line and length in. Severely punished by Sanat Jayasuriya for some loose deliveries in his previous overs.
This is the last ball of the previous over. Over pitched, and Atapadu getting the placement dead right. What he's done here is he's got as close to the pitch of the ball as possible. He goes for the single. He'll have to hurry. Jayasuriya has reached his 700 in test match cricket. Superb innings by the Sri Lankan captain.
He just dominated the South African bowling in the first session and raced to his 100. Just 103 balls, 17 boundaries.
Well, he took on the fielder here at mid-off. Antony was relaxing a bit on his heels. What an innings from the Sri Lankan captain. That's uppish. And it will reach the boundary. First boundary since lunch. That's the first real time Pollock has pitched the ball up a bit. And no half measures with the Sri Lankan captain.
Just a little bit of width there for Sanath Jayasuriya, and he really latches onto that one as he saw the width, went under it, over and out, over the cover fielder, and brings him a boundary. Pollock really not too pleased about that delivery. He realized that he really strayed a bit there.
Now that's spanked off the back foot. Rhodes is there in the deep. And even he can't stop it. So he's having a torrid time out there, Jonty Rhodes. He does seem to be in a little bit of discomfort. A good shot here by Jayasuriya. Again, standing up tall, good balance when he played it.
Nice timing by Sanath Jayasuriya. Didn't have much to really play around with that from a Jonty Rhodes not being able to.
And a bit of width off it to Marvin Adepatu, and he's onto it in a flash. And that'll run away for 4.
Well played, but not quite convincing. Didn't get it on the meat of the bat. So Marvin Adepatu, another fine half century for him. He certainly has been quite a foil for Sanath Jayasuriya, getting it right into the gap. It's not much of a gap there, but he finds it. And that again is a fine innings by him.
It's a good innings there from Marvin Adepatu, and you're right, he forms the perfect foil for an attacking Jayasuriya. And they've set a perfect platform. And Boyer gets it up to Jayasuriya, and I always felt it was a matter of time. As soon as he got it into that area, Jayasuriya was going to have a go at it, and he's hit it well.
This is why Jayasuriya is always so threatening. Boyer this time showing some guts, giving the ball a little bit of air, but Jayasuriya equal to the task, hitting it straight over the bowler's head. And he's quite prepared to take the aerial route whenever his opportunity presents.
Yes, and very difficult to defend. And there's nobody back. If it's up there, he's prepared to throw the bat at it. And down he goes again. This one he's hit harder and flatter, and one bounce into the boundary boards. Well, Jayasuriya certainly decided it's time. He's not going to allow Boyer to dictate any terms.
So Jayasuriya, after a quiet start after lunch, looking to break free again. This time bombarding the boundaries. When he's into the act, he certainly is on a roll.
And once again, some width offered to Marvin Adepatu. Puts it away. Another 4. And Sri Lanka now move to 185 for no loss. The last ball of the over. Marvin Adepatu gives it a full wind-up. It goes way, way over. Doesn't hang back. It's full flow of the arms. It was short and wide. Place not to bowl on the subcontinent. So a change in bowling now. We're going to have Paul Adams. He's back into the attack. Replaces Nicky Boyer. And immediately Jayasuriya, well, just past Paul Adams, and Jayasuriya prepared to take him on. That's gone for 4.
Also, Jayasuriya is always prepared to take Paul Adams on. The intentions are very clear. There's no doubt that Jayasuriya is prepared to use his feet, go over the top whenever Paul Adams at the crease. Once again coming down and then hitting it slightly uppishly in the air. Paul Adams, a valiant effort, but to no avail.
Paul.
Well, he's not going to let him settle, is Jayasuriya. He's going to go after him from ball 1. Once again, a bit of width off it, and he's hit it straight to Galle. And a great catch by Nicky Boyer. That's a sharp chance, and that's the end of Marvin Adepatu.
So Mavanatapattu, the first wicket of Sri Lankan wicket goes. Short delivery outside the off stump. Mavanatapattu attempting to square cut straight to Boyer. Fine catch, sharp chance, and a big wicket for South Africa. They've been waiting for this for a long, long time. Mavanatapattu goes, caught by Boyer in the gully, off Intini, and Sri Lanka lose their first wicket for 193.
Well, the wicket to go down. Marvin Adepatu cuts it hard. Nicky Buya's in position, and Makai Ntini has made the breakthrough, and he's certainly a happy man.
You could see Ntini's frustrations coming out there. He's certainly delighted as Boyer picks that very, very good catch. It really flew to him. And Russell Arnold, he's got quite an impressive career record in a short career. 19 matches, got 200s and 450s.
Well, a big shout here from Makai Ntini and the rest of the team behind. And I fancy that, well, when you come back, it's 193 for 1. And Jay Saria goes for the big one. He's hit in the middle, and that's gone over the deep mid-wicket's head. It's gone all the way. That's 6 more.
So Jayasuriya is not going to be kept quiet for long. Whacks that one over mid-wicket, and it hits the meat of the bat. There's a man down on the line, but that's cleared him for 6.
Well, when Jay Saria hits it in the middle of the bat, it stays hit. It goes with the wind.
Surya sweeping, and sweeping extremely well. Just has this happy knack of picking up the gaps.
Quickly picking up the length there, Sanat Jayasuriya, and going through with the shot. Just getting the gap right there. Wide the fielder down there, 2 fielders down and there.
We're still attacking. Still attacking on the onside. That's the second time he's found the boundary in the over with a similar shot.
Adams giving the air. Sanat Jayasuriya making full use of that length and going through, sweeping well. Picking the gap, there's a fielder down at the backward square and the one in the mid-wicket. But he picks the gap and all the way down to the line.
Yes, this is a very good shot because there's a man near the umpire at square leg. So he's got to clear him. He's got to place it away from the man in the deep. He's done that too. And again, this is up in the air. He could be out caught here. And Jayasuriya's innings has come to an end. He's taken on Adams once too often. Mackenzie making no mistake in the deep. And a fantastic innings from the Sri Lankan captain comes to an end. 148 of just 156 balls.
Paul Adams still giving that extra bit of air on that occasion, a bit from the off stump. And then he's very pleased with his performance. Sanat Jayasuriya gone. 148, Sri Lanka 211 for 2.
So Mahela Jayawardena comes out to the centre. Sri Lanka have just lost their second wicket. 22 matches for him. 242 against the Indians, his best. Jayasuriya dismissed in the last over from Paul Adams. In fact, he still hasn't finished his over, getting a top edge here.
That occasion, Paul Adams delivering from behind the wicket and holding it back a bit, and Sanat Jayasuriya trying to drag it from outside the off stump, not getting enough bat onto that one. And Mackenzie doing a good job. Watched it all the way, pouched it and held on to it.
Adams continuing. Up they go for the chance here, and this time the finger goes up. So Boucher is rewarded with a catch. The ball obviously taking the glove of Russell Arnold. He doesn't seem to be too happy. There was an appeal earlier against Jayasuriya that didn't go South Africa's way, but not this time. Another wicket here for Paul Adams.
Umpire Peter Manuel convinced that they'd get the glove or the bat. Arnold sweeps. Really passed the bat before. And Boucher convinced and gets the positive from the umpire. Russell Arnold not pleased. Russell Arnold gone for 5. Sri Lanka 216 for 3.
So Kumar Sangakkara comes out to play his first test match here. And the reason why he's here is because Russell Arnold was dismissed a little while earlier.
Really see if there's any noise there. And really see any deviation as such. The ball did carry its line. But umpire Peter Manuel convinced that it did get the glove. Rasalana with a wry smile. Boucher pleased.
He would consider himself a little unfortunate. Now that's put away by Jayawardena. Short delivery from Adams. And it gets the treatment. 2:21 for 3. Again uppish. He might just think of having a man at forward short leg here.
Sangakkara not sure of himself. And then just lobbing it up there. That's the second occasion. And as Ravi said, the fielder comes in now.
Sri Lankan lineup since lunch. Short and wide, cut away, run away for 4. Not good fielding again from South Africa. Makai Antini diving over the top of it. These are important runs. Now, every run's important, but certainly on this pitch, yes, he dived right over the top of it.
Antini seems to be having a few problems, particularly on the field. And once again, the bounce not quite there, not getting right behind. Good attempt though.
This one short and pulled away over mid-wicket. Bounces and runs away. Well, the pressure just being released now.
Jayawardena looking to break free. Once again, a short delivery from Paul Adams. Just the right height to bounce, and Jayawardena pouncing it on very quickly, hitting it over the short mid-wicket. He's got his timing right as well.
Well, that delivery hit straight to Sean Pollock. He goes down and it's gone right through him. It'll run all the way, and that's 4.
Sean Pollock, he wouldn't be very happy with himself. And that again shows the rather poor fielding the South Africans have been putting up on and off. And right through Sean Pollock. He's not been able to cover the gap.
Well, he just left a little hole there, and it's basic. And a lot of flight there from Adams, over pitched and through the cover. Good start for the Sri Lankan batsman.
Mahela Jayawardena getting the placement right, timing right on that occasion. Between the extra cover and the cover fielder. Got enough time to look at that one, picking the length and getting the placement right. Really angling it and all the way down to the mount.
Sangakkara's on 9. He hasn't looked comfortable against Adams. And he's down the wicket with confidence, and he belts that over the top. That is a good shot. Almost a get out of jail shot, I feel.
He's really not too sure. That's almost on desperation. He came down, try and get on top of the bowler, and it was there to be hit, and he went right through with it.
And there's a sharp chance. Is that a catch?
Paul Adams on this occasion bringing Mahela Jayawardena forward, the one turning away from the right-hander, getting the edge, and that's we put it down as a chance.
I'm sure he'll be looking to be brought on soon. And well, this one, not a good delivery from Adams. Full toss, smacked over deep mid-wicket. That's 6, that's maximum.
Nicely up there, and Mahela Jayawardena picking it nicely and sending it over the long on region for a 6, making full use of that. Watched it all the way.
Yes, I thought it was a full toss initially, but it wasn't. He picked it up against the spin, which is and a big drive from Jayawardena, finds the outside edge. That's gone away. It'll run away quickly for 4.
Well, Adams be a bit disappointed with that one. Really a good delivery. getting the outside edge of Mahela Jayawardena. The ball spinning away and getting the outside edge, running really fine. Really not been able to get to the pitch of that one. Playing away from his body, getting the outside edge. Drive that, but straight to the fielder.
And this one short again from Adams, pulled away, and that's into the boundary. It went very quickly. Jayawardena picks it up very, very quickly.
The shot, quick. That's the drive there, fielder there by the. And the next delivery was a short one, which Mahela Jayawardena quickly pounced on that one. Bit of extra bounce for him to go through with it.
Point. Well, that's a tremendous shot. He's a free scoring player, Jayawardena. He doesn't allow the pressure to get to him. Good cover drive there. And runs coming freely here for the Sri Lankans after tea.
So Jayawardena using all his flair. He's certainly a player of the future. When he's on his stride, certainly can be devastating. Easing himself into that shot. Perfectly played.
Again, a tremendous shot. He's once again found the gap. Nicky Boy there just getting his hands to it and pulling it back inside the boundary line. But Jayawardena has reached his 50 here. Good entertaining knock from him. 286 for 3. Now that's a crashing shot of the back foot. That'll go to the boundary. Once again, he's so quick to pick the length up. When it's over pitched, he's driven the ball. When it's slightly short, he's used the crease well, rocked back onto the back foot, and good balance there.
The runs piling away for Jayawardena and for Sri Lanka. Just see the use of feet, the use of the crease, putting right back and just punching it through.
Well, he's gone after that one and found the gap. This might just reach the boundary. In fact, it's crossed the boundary line now. Just got the feeling that it was hit a little uppishly by Sangakkara, but he went after that one moment he saw the width.
This really has been the trouble with the South African bowling. They bowled 4 tight dot deliveries and then the loose one just to free the batsman's arms. And the Sri Lankans have been taking advantage of it. Slightly uppish, but in the gap as well.
In the field too for the South African fielders. That's right to the pads. That's going to be close. The finger has gone up here. That always looked out. The only decision the umpire had to make was he struck outside the line of the stumps. But Sangakkara deceived in the flight, and Boyer has picked up a wicket.
Clever bowling by Boyer. Sangakkara playing the penalty for a little bit of being overcautious. Playing back to a fully pitched up delivery and paying the penalty. And up goes umpire Harper's finger. And that again is a big wicket for South Africa. Sangakkara is out, LBW to Boyer. He's gone for 23, 297 for 4.
So Arjuna Ranatunga comes out to the centre in his final series for Sri Lanka. 91 matches. Close to 5,000 runs in the game. 36 50s, 400s. He'd like to end his test match career in style. And he's here because Sangakkara was dismissed a little while earlier.
Sangakkara, he's pushed back by Boyer and very adjacent to the stumps. And one might say, having a look at that, he might consider himself lucky, but the umpire certainly sees it differently.
Yes, he was beaten all ends up. The umpire doesn't have the mat. What the umpire has decided there that that's going to hit the off stump. Now, from the angle Boyer was bowling, that seemed likely, and that's the reason why the finger went up.
And Jayawardena down the wicket. Well, he hits that over, extra cover, a wideish mid-off. Shows a lot of confidence.
Good use of feet. Giving himself nice room, getting inside that delivery and over the extra cover. So inside out, it's well timed. Really got really onto the pitch of that one and went right through with it. Almost a premeditated shot.
Showing a lot of confidence to come down the wicket. Turning. A lot of flight from Bahia, and Ranatunga goes after it. He finds the gap, doesn't middle it, and it's well fielded by Pollock again. And Ranatunga's got another 3.
So that's the third 3 for Arjuna Ranatunga, running hard.
Ranatunga doesn't get hold of it, leans back on it, finds the gap, and it's tagged down by Sean Pollock. I think he does well. Yes, he does. Just pulls it back just before it gets over that rope.
It's a good commitment there.
Starts with a full toss, and I think he's hit it to Sean Pollock. Well, has he caught it? Yes, he says he's caught it. Arjuna Ranatunga stands. The umpires, well, they've given him out, and South Africa take another wicket. Paul Adams is struck. First delivery.
And Paul Adams straight off, full toss, and straight to a very good effort there by the captain. Wrapping his hands under that one to get rid of Arjuna Ranatunga.
That is a good catch by Sean Pollock. Moved forward. He's a tall man and he's a fast bowler. He must be tired. End of Ranatunga, 13. And Sri Lanka now 318 for 5. Well, the new batsman in, Kumar Sangakkara. He's played 22 tests. Useful all-rounder. 672 runs. And he'll be facing Paul Adams. Dharmasena, not sure where that's gone. He won't have faced Paul Adams.
Trying to work that down to the onside, but spinning and going away from Dharmasena, getting the outside edge. Lucky didn't go in the air, just rolled down.
Now that's pulled away. He's got hold of that one, Jayawardene. And that's raced to the boundary. Short delivery from Pollock.
When one attempts to test a bounce of this pitch, it's at your peril. Ball really not coming on, and easy pings for Jayawardene. He's very quickly into position, and ball just at the right height to pull away.
Yes, he's pulled it literally off the front foot. So the last over of the day coming up. And Jayawardene has thrashed the first delivery to the point boundary. Once again, he's picked up the length quickly, and that was literally played off the front foot.
Once again, going to show what a talented player he is. Demonstrates that he's been able to pick up the length very quickly and put it away, even when it comes to the last over of the day.
Gone past the outside edge. The fielders go up, but I think the problem here is the ball did take the outside edge, but it's bounced before it's gone to Boucher.
Well, let's have a look at it again. That's an interesting shout. And just keep an eye on the toe of Jayawardene's bat. Oh, that hit the ground. The bat hit the ground, and there was a little bit of daylight between the bat outside edge and the ball.
Yes, one got the feeling that it might have gone into the ground. That was the indication by the umpire. But the clear case of the bat hitting the ground, so good decision. In fact, a very good decision, because don't forget, this is the last over of the day. Concentration level for an umpire has to be not at its highest at the moment. Won't be at its highest, but he's concentrated well here.
A very good decision by umpire Peter Manuel. Umpires have to be given a lot of credit in situations such as this.
Well, that's the batting. Atupatu, he had a good start, 54. Jayasuriya, 148. He really dominated. Jayawardene not out, 78. And Dharmasena's with him on 4. And the end of that innings today, 341 for 5. They bowled 3 extra overs. A tough day for South Africa. Partnerships, well, opening partnership, Marvin Adepatu and Jayasuriya, 193, and the second big partnership, 81 between Jay Wardena and Sangakkara. And the bowling figures, well, Sean Pollock, he toiled, didn't get a wicket. Adams got 3 for 122, and Nicky Boyer got the 1. Martini got 1 for his efforts. So all in all, a really, really tough day for South Africa. And there's no doubt that tomorrow will be a better day for one of the sides. They leave here, Sri Lanka do, really with the upper hand, and let South Africa with their backs to the wall. Let's see you tomorrow, 20 past 10 we start. Look forward to seeing you then. Up the play, it's Callis bowling. Let's have a look and see what happens.
Having a plan. I think it was missing.
Yes, this is where Hansi Cronje was so good, especially on the tour of India. Often when partnerships were going on, he ensured that the game was slowed down a bit. The advantage he had was he could bowl himself, so he could come in and bowl 5 or 6 overs and chip in with a couple of wickets. But it's still early days in the captaincy career of Sean Pollock. He'll learn.
Off hands.
That's edged and taken. Klusener making no mistake at third slip. And this is good bowling by Pollock. He drew Dharmasena wide for the drive, got the outside edge, and South Africa have struck early here.
They certainly have the wicket they needed, and it's gone to third slip against all our predictions. Old Mother Cricket. That's a good catch from Klusener, ever so easy. Dharmasena just pushing it one outside off stump. Pollock really happy, and just the breakthrough the South Africans needed this morning. Dharmasena, he's out for 4. And Sri Lanka now 341 for 6.
So the local boy, Upul Chandana, comes out to the centre. 27 years of age. 55 runs in his test match career. No great pretensions with the bat, but he's contributed usefully in one-day cricket. 28 against Pakistan is best. So he's up against the South African captain, who's picked up his first wicket. Dharmasena, the man to be dismissed a little while earlier.
Dharmasena just sparring it one a little bit too wide outside off. Klusener making absolutely no mistake. Straight in, nonchalant. Very simple catch. Pollock's maintained a good line outside off stump this morning's. It's probably the strategy they've talked about, to keep it out there with the new ball. Be patient.
Yes, be patient, because one got the feeling they were trying to pick up wickets with almost every delivery. That's put away. Plenty of width on that occasion. And Jayawardene really had to stretch out to reach that one.
His delivery very wide from Callis and short. Not the place to bowl. And that's easily put away in the gap. Jayawardene, he's a good player when the ball's poorly bowled.
And so it's Sean Pollock again, starting his 4th. That's nicely cut away into the gap. Short ball outside off stump, not very well bowled. So down to the boundary for 4. Umpire Harper there signalling the 4. Just watch the shot again. This is not a good delivery. Short, it's a slowish pitch. And that certainly was asking for a bit of trouble. Chandana. Have a look at him in the air as he cuts away down towards the boundary. Well, straight down the ground, beautiful straight drive. That's a lovely shot. That'll go to the boundary for 4. This outfield is pretty quick. It's quite dry. That one over-pitched, and a very aggressive straight drive. Lovely shot. Jayawardene moves to 89.
It's a lovely shot by Jayawardene there. Doesn't have much foot movement, but still gets the weight going forward. And once he gets through the gap in this field, it's 4.
Mahela Jayawardena, 89, and looking as solid as a rock. Just looking at a breakdown of his runs so far, you can see that he's pretty strong on the offside through there. 6 4s, that's 32 on the offside, 3 4s and a 6 through mid-wicket. He's also pretty good on short deliveries, plays it well. He's actually a good all-round player. A lot of his runs in front of the wicket there, very little down to third man and fine leg. That can be a factor of where the bowling... Oh, there's a big appeal there for caught behind, all up in the air. Callis reckons he's got him. The umpire says no. Callis is very upset. Well, the South Africans can't believe this. It looked to me, the reaction there of Jayawardena was, correction, it's Chandana, was simply to turn around and not take, Jayawardena, sorry, to turn around and not take any notice. We'll come back and have a look at it in a moment. 360 for 6. Yes, this should tell us something. Here we are. This is the close-up. Short delivery down the leg side. Now then, let's slow this down. Ooh, now, I don't think so. I think that may have hit the pocket. I think it hit the pocket. You can see the pocket move, and the ball goes under the gloves, hits the pocket, and then through to the keeper. So a very good decision in my book. And even if there was a tiny flick on the gloves there, there's no way in the world any umpire could have given it from his angle. This is a better angle. Oh, there we are. Look, no doubt about it. That's a wonderful decision. Very, very good decision. The spontaneous appeal there by the South Africans created because of that tiny little noise off the pocket of Jayawardena. So some good camera work there, picking up exactly what happened.
Yeah, it was a very good decision, I think. But I would like to say that here we have a much closer look at it. And the slow-mo just highlights how difficult it is to be an umpire. Everything's so close together there, thigh pad, gloves, ball. But it seems like this time the umpire's made the correct decision. There we go. Seems like he just flicked the hip pocket, and a good decision.
10 being an umpire when you retire. Oh, that's blasted through the offside field, short outside off stump, and Tini has got to keep it up a little bit. The cut shot will be used here at random. Lovely shot through square of the wicket for 4. That just relieves the pressure a little bit for the batsman.
Yeah, this is short and wide from Makaya, and a lot of pressure has been built up over the last sort of since the start of play, and the Sri Lankan batsman will be looking to take advantage of this bowling change. That's a poor delivery from Makaya, and Jayawardena puts it away quite comfortably.
Oh, that's out. Caught slip. That's well bowled by Callis. Much better bowling, well pitched up. That one's swinging away, and that is the end of Chandana. Caught there by Cullen at slip. That ball moving away in the air. Chandana, just a little shake of the head there. He went after this one, a drive. You could see it swing away. Big deflection there, nicely taken too. Watch him watch that one right into those safe hands of his. Darryl Cullinan making the catch. This is turning out to be a decidedly better day for the South Africans. Chandana caught by Cullen off the bowling of Callis for 8, and the score now moves on to 365 for 7. Chaminda Vaas is the new batsman. He's 26 years of age, quite a lot of experience, 41 test matches under his belt already, and an average of 18.2. He's something of an all-rounder, Chaminda Vaas. I think that he's probably a bowling all-rounder, and is trying very hard to develop his batting. Bowls left-handed, bats left-handed, and is a stroke maker. So he'll be looking forward to this. Now he's out there because of this dismissal.
Full way swinging, or I suppose you could almost call it half volley, but Jacques has been threatening to do that all morning. He's got a good shape on his deliveries, and tidy catch by Darryl Cullinan.
Yes, full wide off volley. You're dead right. They get wickets, those full wide off volleys. There's no doubt about that. If you've got 2 or 3 slips in place, new batsman, sometimes not a bad idea. Well, there's one of the coolest customers in world cricket. One of modern cricket's best captains, and one of the heroes of Sri Lankan cricket in recent years. In my view, he and Aravinda de Silva largely responsible for the lofty heights that Sri Lankan cricket have attained in recent times. And of course the news from this part of the world is that man, Arjuna Ranatunga, has decided to pack it all up at the end of this series. What a tremendous career he's had. He will be remembered for a long time. Looking nice and casual again. Didn't make any runs to speak of. Out for 13 of 16 balls. He's been a wonderful cricketer. But it's spin time. I'm not really all that keen on making too many assessments of batsmen until such time as they've been through a bad time. Nice and straight. Played down the ground. He's going for one. Will they come back for the second? I think they probably will. Vos will turn and come back. That's a century to Mahela Jayawardene. His third Test century. Beautifully played. And boy, what a comeback this has been for him. He's had a tough time of it with the bat. A very good young player. He loves this ground ball. His second century here, following his 167 against New Zealand back in the season of 97-98. Well played, says Chaminda Vos, and he's dead right.
Yeah, it was a really good 100 that. Quite interesting to compare the 200s between Jayasuriya and Jayawardene. Very much more conservative and technically correct. And punching it down the ground for two. Nice straight bat. It's got to be a very nice feeling knowing you got your 100 safely in the bag and running through for your second run.
Yes, there we are. There's the acknowledgement of the applause. Away Test matches. It's quite often the case, though. Touring is not easy when you first start this game. Oh, he's hit that one through the offside field. That's 4. That's beautifully driven through the offside for 4. Slightly over pitched. He's a lovely stroke maker. Another 4 to the total, and that makes it 15 boundaries to Mahela Jayawardene. There's the cover drive again. Fast outfield. Right off the middle of the bat. Classical shot.
Yeah, it's over pitch from Mackay. He's got his lengths a little bit mixed up today, either too short or too full. And Jayawardene puts it away very easily.
Bad. And this one played away beautifully by Vos. Backward a point. Just used the pace of Ntini and the angle. Really nice shot from Chaminda Vos.
We've seen the development of Vos's batting in recent times. A lot of self-belief and nicely put away. Waited on it and gave it direction. This is certainly quite useful for Sri Lanka to find Vos developing in his batting, getting himself into the class of an all-rounder.
Played in the air. It's gone down to a vacant third man. Brings up another 4.
So runs coming for Sri Lanka in a fairly useful fashion. Open spaces on the offside, and as soon as it gets into the gap, without a third man protecting it, there's always runs.
Chaminda Vos, it's a full ball, it's a half volley, and he puts it away. Here's a good shot from Chaminda Vos to bring the end of the over. Sri Lanka now 401 for 7.
Well, that was a beautiful shot by Chaminda Vos. Coming in at where he's batting. Sri Lankans certainly a luxury of talent around that area.
The last ball of the last over, over pitched on the off stump, and Chaminda Vos makes no mistake. See how full it is, really right next to his foot there. And that one hit on the up, and it's gone through for 4, gone backward point. It's another 4. The run's coming thick and fast now for Sri Lanka.
The Sri Lankans certainly bombarding the boundaries now. Runs coming in all directions. And once again, that vacant area at third man. So the South Africans need to pluck these areas where the runs have been getting through.
And down the wicket he comes, and straight back over the bowler's head. That's the place to hit him. It's gone all the way. That's a maximum.
So you could see the Sri Lankan strategy very evident as soon as they realize that there's a spin in operation, looking to take the spinner on. And Jayawardene once again, the quick use of the feet. And that really is a key facet about playing spin. getting up to the pitch of it and hitting it straight to the line and right over the boundary.
Mahela Jayawardeneh putting pressure on the spinner immediately.
Second 100 on this ground. He's found the gap on the offside. That will race away to the boundary. Slightly short, and he's in such good form at the moment, especially against the spinners, that he's put that one away quite easily.
Getting the punishment in required. Mahela Jayawardeneh quickly giving himself a bit of room. He's been doing that this morning. Anything loose has been punished severely by Mahela Jayawardeneh. The right approach, taken the aggressive one, taking Sri Lanka into a totally dominating position here.
In fact, it's not only South Africa, it's overall, and I think they've achieved the target now. So records tumbling here. And another session where over 100 runs have been scored.
It's a big boost for the Sri Lankans. The bowlers up in the pavilion. That's where the record partnership for Sri Lanka. 7th between Mahela Jayawardeneh and Chaminda Vaas. So really...
And a short delivery pulled away. It's another bad ball by Adams. Bounces once, twice into the boundary boards. Jayawardeneh gets onto that bad ball very quickly.
He's really not let off anything that has to be punished. Really rocking back and pulling it well down to the mid-wicket region. Quickly onto that one. In good form, very confident.
Yes, the problem on these slow wickets, if you do pitch it short, it just sits up slowly and waits for you to hit it. Tony's? No, it isn't. It's supporters for Sri Lanka. Well, he's gone over the top, and that's gone away for 4.
And the over, Sri Lanka 458 for 7. That occasion, really not getting hold of it, but enough bat on it to clear the mid-on fielder.
Bad about it. And he's bowled him a short delivery. Chaminda Vaas has got onto it. He's pulled it away. And those are the first runs off Lance Klusener in his 3rd over in the spell. Sri Lanka 462 for 7. Jayawardeneh, it was the short ball last over. Chaminda Vaas onto it very quickly. He likes to get on the hook. South Africans seem to know that. He got a man 3/4, but he hit well. Well, that one's in the gap, and Jayawardeneh, he moves on to 150. It's a good milestone, and that's his captain. He's happy with the performance. I'm sure Jayawardeneh, you remember that.
Very important 150. Putting the Sri Lankans right on top. A very good effort by Mahela Jayawardeneh.
He's cut that away. That'll be 4. Adams drops it short. Jayawardeneh gives himself room. It's a beautiful shot. And that brings up the 200 partnership as well. 100 partnerships, did I say correction? It's off 160 balls. End of the over, 468 for 7. Paul Adams dropping it short. Jayawardeneh giving himself room, cuts it away.
It's a good shot by Jayawardeneh. He's played it well. Very good effort between Chaminda Vaas and Mahela Jayawardeneh. Partnership of 103 runs in 160 balls. Jayawardeneh, the main contributor. Vaas there though, confidently. Just 33 from Vaas, 61 from Mahela Jayawardeneh. He's really dominated this partnership.
So the Jayawardeneh Vaas partnership now 105. It's really put the cap on the innings for the Sri Lankans. Paul Adams to continue again. Still bowling to Jayawardeneh. And that one short, just pulled away. It's going to go all the way for 4. He places it nicely.
Come on, boy, eh?
Once again, very short by Paul Adams, and quickly latched onto it by Mahela Jayawardene. Enough time to get his placement right down to the boundary. But really looking at the South African approach to this after lunch, it really doesn't look as if they want a wicket. They're just letting things drift along.
Always hit that one across the line, down towards the boundary and mid-wicket. Jayawardene is starting to lift the run rate a little bit now. This wasn't his most elegant shot, but it's gone to the boundary.
So no respect at all, even for Sean Pollock. Total contempt. And Jayawardene is really going after him.
So that takes him on to 167. That's what he made on this ground against New Zealand back in 97-98. 167. Oh, that's out, caught behind. Yes, that's it. Pollock's got him. At last, he's got the man he wanted. 167 again. That's twice now that Jayawardene has scored 167 on this ground. Sean Pollock has taken the wicket, and that will be a great relief for the South Africans. This is the way it happened. Slowish off cutter and a thick edge.
So Sean Pollock finally deceiving Jayawardene. A thick edge, and Jayawardene deceived by the pace, and Boucher gleefully gets onto that catch. So Mahela Jayawardene, fine innings of 167 coming to an end. Sri Lanka lose their 8th wicket for 482.
The lanky Nuon Zoysa, a young fast bowler in this lineup. He's got an average of just over 9. So far just 12 test matches. He's had a checkered time of it because he doesn't put many test matches back to back. This is why he's there.
Yes, there was a sense of urgency in Mahela Jayawardene's batting. The Sri Lankans no doubt looking to try and add momentum to the innings now, and was deceived by that slow delivery from Sean Pollock, and that really saw the end to that fine innings.
Oh, that one's played away on the onside, and it's running away down towards the boundary. That's more like it. That's a short delivery, hit away nicely by Zoysa. Into the fence it goes. So Zoysa is off the mark. He's faced 12 deliveries now and got himself a boundary.
That indeed was nicely picked by Zoysa, the wrong one from Paul Adams. Waited on it and hit it rather uppishly away from the diving fielder. There was plenty of space for him there. So he gets off the mark.
One mustn't forget he's a part-time off-spinner. Oh, that's flicked away past mid-wicket. That's a good shot from Zoysa. We saw him play that shot against Adams. He's done that now against Cullinan. So the 500 coming up here for Sri Lanka.
Zoysa getting nice and tall and upright there and forcing it off the hips. Getting the placement right. Shot from Cullinan. Nice swing of the bat.
And he's gone for the big one. He could be out caught here. Cullinan going after it, and he's taken it. So wicket in his first over. Nice teasing flight there from Cullinan. Zoysa has perished. He went for the big hit. And Sri Lanka have lost their 9th wicket.
Zoysa trying to have a big go at that one. Not getting the bat at all. The edge. And Cullinan keeping his eyes on it, going back and making sure he takes it himself. South Africa getting rid of Nuon Zoysa for 10.
500 for 9. So 501 for 9. The last man to be dismissed, Zoysa. Looking for the big one of Daryl Cullinan. Not quite getting hold of it, getting the leading edge, and a good catch here running back. So wicket in his first over. Well, that's a crashing shot through the offside. Over pitched, and he's hammered that to the cover boundary.
With there, the length right for Chami Dewas to go through with it. Nice swing of the bat. And straight down to the cover boundary.
That's a problem with the South Africans today, especially Adams. Without... That's nicely swept square. Ntini will not cut it off. Again, disappointing, that fielding. South Africans normally set very high standards, but they'll be disappointed with this effort.
And the Vars getting good amount of bat on that one, but Ntini should have really brought that back. He really overran it, not keeping his eyes on the ball. Really, at that point he had overrun the whole thing.
That's 50 for Vars. His fourth 50 in Test match cricket, and this is a good effort because he has the talent to be an all-rounder. Plenty of natural ability as a batsman. And this is a good effort. 6 boundaries. He's batted a long time.
Very good support and a very good stand with Mahela Jayawardene, and he deserves this 50. He's really worked hard for it. He's well pleased with himself.
He scored 1 run. Well, that's smashed through the offside field. That should get to the boundary. Lovely shot for 4. 4 more to Chaminda Vaas. It takes him on to 54.
Well, an over-pitch delivery from Paul Adams. Chaminda Vaas is in good form now and good touch. He's not wasting it.
Osmaldim, that's it. That's the end of Chaminda Vaas, and a wicket for Pollock. 30.3 overs, 2 for 73. And, well, the last man out happens to be Chaminda Vaas, out bowled by Pollock. Pollock ending up with 3 for 73 with this wicket. The ball pitching around about middle, just nipping back a little bit. Back goes the leg stump. Vaas deciding to go for it. Well, that's the end of a fantastic performance by the Sri Lankans. Vaas getting out for 54 at the end of the day, bowled by Pollock. And, well, he'd be pretty happy with his performance here today.
He certainly will. Chances his arm down the wicket and just misses the straight one. Well, he played well. He really did. Valuable contribution. Has the ability to be an all-rounder. There's no doubt about it. Chaminda Vaas.
Yes, well, this is going to be a nasty little session now for the South Africans, having spent all that time in the field, getting a little bit of encouragement there from the support staff. And one just straightening down the line, hitting leg stump.
Lanka ending up getting 522. That's what they would have expected once they won the toss, decided to bat. 148 for Jayasuriya, 167 for Mahela Jayawardene. He was the real star of the day today. 54, good contribution by Vaas there towards the end. The good thing for Sri Lanka was that they had some good partnerships going for them. Superb opening partnership, 193 between Atapattu and Jayasuriya. Then another good one between Jayawardene and Sangakkara. They added 81. And then the partnership between Vaas and Jayawardene, 117. South African bowlers, well, they had to toil really hard here. Pollock bowled a good spell here today. Good line. He picked up all his 3 wickets today, 3 for 73. Adams, 3 wickets for him, but very expensive, especially when you consider this track had consistent turn. And Nicky Boy just got the feeling that he was underused a bit. 22 overs, 1 for 72. Players now taking the field after tea. It's time to join our commentators. Tony Gregg is there with Pat Simcoe.
He is the more experienced of the openers, but that's what happens. Good luck if you make a lot of runs in the match leading up to the big one. Oh, good shot. Nice drive through the offside. That's 4. Over-pitched and a lovely cover drive. Well, that will certainly give him a lot of confidence. So Mackenzie moves on to 5 and it's 6 for none.
That was a real beauty by Mackenzie, just getting on the front foot and punching right through. And that was the last shot by Mackenzie, everything in place, and that would have given a great deal of confidence.
That's turned around the corner. That's a loose delivery. And Kirsten's just used the pace here to get a boundary.
Well, the ball's still hard. It comes on pretty quickly. Kirsten picks it off well. It's a bat on it. Pace that Damasino bowling.
He's a bit of a freak, that Jayasuriya, when he gets going. Oh, that's he's bowled him. That one's come back and bowled him through the gate. Now, that's one of the things you've got to be very careful of with Muralidharan. If you play forward, outside, off stump, and you push at the ball a little bit, you leave a little bit of a gate, and I think that may have either sneaked through the gate or hit the inside edge and got dragged back onto the stumps. This will be interesting.
Yeah, no, if we have a look, just seem to get a little touch on that, and it squeezes back and runs onto the stumps. You know, having a look at the one-day games when we played against him, I know in the final I got bowled by him as well through the gate, and pretty much the same.
Right, well, there we are. Mackenzie, the first to go. Muralidharan into the action. Didn't take him too long, and Mackenzie out for 11. South Africa now 25 for 1 as drinks come out onto the ground. Muthaiya Muralidharan. He's got a wicket, 1 for 2 already, and Jacques Kallis is the new batsman. He's played in 37 test matches, scored over 2,000 runs, and has a very good batting average. 43, 6 centuries so far. Wouldn't he love a century here? They're always appreciated when they're made with your team's back to the wall a bit, and I think it's fair to say that South Africa are going to have their work cut out here. The spin bowling of this Sri Lankan attack is their strength when they're in the field, and of course Muthaiya Muralidharan, who's got the first wicket, is the big danger man. And he comes now to Kallis, and the danger time is always early on. It's very tough in these conditions to handle this sort of spin early on. Now watch this, it squeezes through between bat and pad. He pushes it a little bit too firmly there. If he had kept his bat back a little bit, it rolls back onto his foot and back onto the stumps. Oh, and that one stays down a little bit, but nicely played by Kallis. So let's have another look at this dismissal. Unfortunate one for South Africa.
Yeah, no, definitely Neil Mackenzie seemed to be getting quite settled, and that one just rolling back onto the foot and onto the stumps. I'm sure he'd be very disappointed in his first test. I'm sure he set himself up to get quite a nice couple of runs in there. After the over, asked Gary Kirsten about it. And Jacques just got that one through. Backward of square, and it's 4. And
we'll come back to that in just a second. It's the end of the over. It's 30 for 1. Just watch this shot from Kallis again. Just a little bit short and nicely played. You can't afford to be short to Jacques Kallis. He does this, and he played that one very well, although it stayed down a little bit. Muralidharan continuing. And of course, in circumstances like this, where there's more often than not a forward short leg and a silly point, very tough on the umpires to get it right. Oh, and that's out. That's caught behind. Yes, he's hit the outside edge. That's beautiful bowling. Muralidharan is already amongst the wickets. That's a very difficult ball to play. If you're not sure how much it's going to spin, if you're not sure whether it's overspin or a little bit of off spin, you push out it, hoping that it'll all be well. But watch this one. Pitching around about leg stump, spins a long way, hits the edge of the bat, through to the keeper, and that was nicely taken, actually. Quite a bit of deflection there, and Sangakkara has made his first test catch, and Muralidharan has now got 2 wickets. So that is a huge one for the Sri Lankans. Kirsten out for 12, and South Africa are 30 for 2. Daryl Cullinan, the new batsman, an average of 43 as well. There's some good batting averages amongst this South African batting lineup. I'm not too sure that that's helping too much at the moment. 57 test matches he's played. One of the senior members of this team on strike now. Muralidharan bowling superbly. No ball called, and Cullinan off the mark straight away over the front line there, and it's a bit naughty. He does that quite a bit. Well, he's out there because of this dismissal.
Yeah, no, if we have a look, Gary Kirsten playing forward to that one, just get a bit of turn, actually quite a bit of turn from Muralidharan there, and just managing to find the outside edge, and a very good catch taken.
Muralidharan continuing, and always hit that one away on the onside, and I think we might see a little bit of this one going down to the boundary for 4. Yes, I think Cullinan may adopt a relatively aggressive approach to Muralidharan. Anything that's straight with no one back, he might just try and get a few fielders back, try and spread the field a little bit. He'll have to be quite calculating about it.
That's cut away. So boundary of a no ball here.
Yes, that was short, and also as soon as the call of no ball came along, the batsman was very quick to latch onto it. That flew past slip. So looking to add on whatever useful runs they could get. And just striving for that little bit more. And that passed to Ranatunga like a rocket.
Oh, that's pulled away. Short delivery, and he's latched onto that one. That's a big hit. A strong man, Jacques Kallis.
Oh, Muralidharan dragged that down, and that was very, very short, giving Kallis all the time in the world to get onto it, and he really gave that a big, big hit.
Cullinan down the wicket, it's a full toss, and he hits it cleanly, and that goes all the way. A welcome boundary to the South Africans.
Taking the pressure off Darrell Cullinan, confidently down, nicely getting onto that one, getting under it and over mid-on all the way down to the boundary. So that's the right attitude. They've got to be positive, not to be tied down.
And this one just catches the outside edge, runs away down the third man. Cullinan will come back for 2. What a turn there for Chandana. Just eluding Arjuna Ranatunga.
A bit of extra turn, a bit of bounce as well, out of the reach of Arjuna Ranatunga.
Yes, Jayasuriya has brought an extra man in right around the bat now. There are 3 of them. He's brought in the Galle. You can see him standing there next to Ranatunga. And that one short, Cullinan pulls it away beautifully. It's in the middle of the bat, hits it down, controlled.
So a very positive way to bring up the 50 partnership. Seeing the short one and quickly dispatching it down to the boundary. Very important that you don't get stuck there. Keep taking the attack on. 50 runs, very important partnership for the South Africans. Cullinan and Kallis doing a very, very good job out there.
Hey!
And the umpire Peter Manuel has taken the pairs off. Muralidharan, the wicket taker, 2 wickets. And a very good effort by Cullinan and Jack Kallis. Sana Jayasuriya will be pleased with the 2 wickets, but must be disappointed couldn't make inroads after that. Kallis on 27, Cullinan on the same score, 27. 2 boundaries to Kallis, 3 to Cullinan. Very good job done by them. Partnership of 51. Muralidharan, the wicket taker. 2 early wickets, and then after that, frustrated by some good batting between Kallis and Cullinan. So at the end of the second day of the Test match, the South Africans losing 2 wickets, but ending up on 81 for 2, mainly due to Kallis and Cullinan putting up a partnership of 51. That all-important 51-run partnership. Kirsten and Mackenzie comfortable with the seamers. Looking 25, and the introduction of Muralidharan, both Kirsten and Mackenzie were parted. The bowling was very steady, 8 overs, 5 maidens for 5 runs. Soisa went for a few, 4 overs, 12 runs. Dharma Sena, no wickets. Muralidharan, the wicket taker, 13 overs, 2 maidens, 29 for 2. Chandra, steady, 6 overs, 2 maidens for 17 runs.
That's got him.
Well, another beautiful day at the Galle Stadium. A tough day ahead for the South Africans. The wicket expected to take a lot of turn. It turned yesterday. South Africa had their backs to the wall from the outset. Right now, the status of the match, Well, that's certainly balanced in Sri Lanka's favour. You can see Sri Lanka getting 522, posting a big score. And then South Africa going into bat, 81 for 2 overnight. Daryl Cullinan and Jacques Callis, the men still in, and they had a lot to play for. Well, let's pick it up. The 4th over of the day, it's Muralitharan bowling to Cullinan.
Coach, specialist bowling coach, and the stand-in manager, Doug Russell.
Well, that's well bowled. I think that was a straight-on delivery and hitting the outside edge of the bat. No gully, running down to third man. 2 to Cullinan. They all count.
Well, was this the one that went the other way? It's the top spinner. Cullinan certainly didn't read it. Played across it. It's the one that goes straight to slip.
Oh, and they've asked the question. Yes, they've given him out. He's out, caught at silly point. Well, that was I think that was probably a big edge. A spontaneous response from all the players there. Callis stood his ground, understandably so. You're not going to walk for anything like that. But once again, Muralitharan has struck. Let's see if we can pick it up. Here we go. It's spinning back. And, well, there were certainly 2 noises there. Hard to pick from here. 1 or 2 of the other angles might tell the story a little bit more readily. So, a spontaneous response there. Callis is out. That's a big wicket for the Sri Lankans. 29 to Callis. South Africa now 3 down with 86 on the board. Jonty Rhodes is the new batsman. 30 years of age. He's played 50 test matches. He's got over 2,000 runs and a batting average of 35. 3 centuries, and wouldn't one here today be nice for him and for South Africa. Right, well, Cullis, I think, a thick inside edge. And that was judging by the response. Let's see if we can pick it up here. Pitches out down there. Oh, yes. Big inside edge onto the pad. And, well, you see, because his bat is not alongside his pad, it then pops up on the offside. Absolutely no doubt about that whatsoever. So Callis out now, and Muralitharan, have a look at that that name of his. Already appeared 3 times out of 3. So there is absolutely no doubt that he's going to have a huge impact here. That one through the gap between third slip and down to the boundary for 4.
Well, easy runs there for Cullinan. Be happy with that. Just guiding it down. Didn't just played with soft hands. Angled the bat down towards third man. Wasn't an outside edge.
Well, that's well played. That's nicely hit down towards the mid-wicket area, and he hit it down into the ground. It's going to go for 4 as well. So that's very well played. Very, very well played. And you can see there Cullinan now has moved on to 38. And I just thought this morning, if he can get to 50, it may well be that this is going to be Daryl Cullinan's day. He just needs some support down the other end.
Daryl Cullinan very strong on the hook, strong off the back foot, picks it up early. And he's pulled most quick bowlers around the world. Certainly Vars is not going to trouble him on this kind of pitch.
From a personal point of view, I would recommend anyone watching this telecast. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. That's a wonderful shot. Straight down the ground, over the top for 4. Right. Well, this is what I like to see. The Queenian has decided Muralitharan is not going to dominate here totally, and every now and again he's going to give him some treatment. That's beautiful.
Well, that's perfect. Down the wicket. Just shimmies a little bit and into position and over the top. That is a good shot. Showing his dom.
That's beautifully bowled. This is classic bowling by a champion off-spinner. This has deceived Rhodes all ends up. Beautiful flight, sharp turn, and it's gone through the defences of Jonty Rhodes.
Jonty Rhodes not coming forward, going back really undid him, and that ball spinning back sharply into Jonty Rhodes. And keeping a bit low as well, getting the gate and right through to the middle stump.
So Muralitharan on a roll here. He's picked up 2 wickets in the morning. Rhodes goes for 12, 119 for 4 South Africa. So Lance Klusner comes out to the centre. His side in trouble here. They've lost 2 wickets this morning. Jack Harless the first to go, then Jonty Rhodes. 30 matches for Lance Klusner, over 1,000 runs, 174 against England is best. That was a superb innings. He tore the English attack apart, but this is why he's here. Beaten all ends up. Jonty Rhodes there, deceived in the flight, opted to play back here, and in the end had no answer to that turning ball. That's a short delivery, and once again pulled away. He's not quite timed it, but he gets 2 runs and reaches a half-century here, Cullinan. Good innings by him. He's played very positively. 121 for 4. He's used his feet to the spinners too. Now that's the last ball of the previous over. Didn't quite time it. That's crashed through the offside. So first boundary for Klusner.
It's a bit of extra flight there. Klusner quickly onto it. Powerfully through the extra cover region. Over pitch, nice half volley. That will give him a bit of confidence, get a field of things.
This one flighted, and Cullinan's hit it straight to mid-wicket, and he's dropped it. It's Marvin Adepatu. Cullinan prepared to take a bit of flight on, there's no doubt. He just didn't get hold of it. Important chance goes begging.
Cullinan has been looking to look positive, and that time seen that open area. But Marvin Adepatu, fine effort, put down.
He doesn't get hold of it, and well, he should have caught that.
It's a bit of a angled bat.
And this one he hits powerfully down the ground. That'll roll away. When Klusner hits it, it stays hit. It goes down the ground for 4 and brings the end of the over. South Africa 141 for 4.
That shot would have given Klusner some amount of confidence. It's always good to have a boundary under your belt.
It's the last ball that Klusner faced from Damasina. He smashed it down the ground, hit it powerfully. Frees the arms. Doesn't hit it in the middle, closes the face, which isn't bad. Make sure he doesn't hit it up. Klusner now powerfully struck down the ground. It's too full. He'll put away those that are too full, there's no doubt about it.
Keep working, come on!
And this is really what Klusner could do. He's such a powerful strike of the ball, and when it is in the slot, and once he goes through with it, the ball stays hit.
Work hard, come on! Go!
And that's a no ball, and hit powerfully down the ground again. Once it's in the hitting area, Klusner's going to have a go at it.
That's really the way to do it. It's not always going to be easy, but one really needs to make use of every opportunity, and as soon as he heard the cry of no ball, he pounced on it very quickly and hit it straight hard past the bowler. And it certainly was hit very, very firmly.
Taking risks, yeah.
This one short and put away by Cullinan. Really a rank short delivery from Damasina, and on a slow turning wicket you can't bowl short.
Yes, I think the South Africans are doing things right here. They're just putting the bad balls away for boundaries, and when they keep on getting the boundaries, the scoreboard also keeps moving around, and this does put pressure on the fielding side.
Cullinan goes again. This one he's hit in the middle, and I fancy that could go all the way. That is a good hit by Daryl Cullinan. He's applying the pressure on Damasina. He's not going to let him settle. Picks it up beautifully.
That really was picked up beautifully by Cullinan, just launching into it, and that really took the meat of the bat, clearing the boundary by a few yards. He certainly is looking good, Cullinan, now.
Line with the left and right hand combination at the moment. Klusner just with disdain hits it down, and a magnificent catch. That is a magnificent catch, and he is a good fielder, Chandana. Straight down mid-on, and he's dived across and caught it. That is a good catch.
Oh, Klusner couldn't have chosen anyone worse than Chandana to hit it straight to. And Chandana, what an outstanding catch. Me to the bat, and look at Chandana. A fine catch. Almost the ball's past him, but he grabbed onto it. So big wicket for Sri Lanka when this partnership was looking good. Klusner's gone, got caught by Chandana off Dharmasena. South Africa lose their 5th wicket for 162.
Mark Boucher's the new batsman, 23 years of age and an average of 31. He's encroaching upon 1,000 runs in Test match cricket. So far, just 29 Test matches. 1 century against Zimbabwe. Wouldn't he like one here today? Someone needs to stay with Daryl Cullinan. This is the dismissal again, beautifully taken. Upul Chandana, one of the best outfieldsmen in the world. Turning out to be a wonderful all-round cricketer. Upul
Lurched at it.
Oh, he's hit that one in the air, and that's going down towards deep mid-wicket. He's decided to have a go, and it's gone for 4. Right, well, that was perfectly hit right into the gap. Every now and again, Cullen plays this shot. He moves on now to 73, all on his own today with the bat.
So really gets in line, shuffles across, gets onto the pitch of that one, goes right through with it confidently. He's done a good job out here. Not afraid to try and punch the one that's loose. Doesn't let the bowler really settle into a set rhythm.
Yes, sir. Oh, he's bowled him. Oh, well, perhaps I'll put the mockers on him. Going back to the ball that spins now. He didn't pick that one. That was a rip-snorting spinner from outside off stump. He picked the other ball okay. He didn't pick that one that spun back really sharply, and it's deflected, I think, probably off his back down onto his stump. So just watch this. There it is. It came back, and there was a bit of bat and pad there, deflected onto the stump. Wasn't that serious spin? So Murali Dhiran getting another wicket, and unfortunately the end of Boucher. Out bowled by Murali Dhiran. He now has 5 wickets, 5 for 68 his figures. That's the end of Boucher, and well, Cullinan's partners continue to disappear. The score 168 for 6. South Africa's captain Sean Pollock has now arrived at the crease. 43 Test matches, an average of 29. It's not a bad average actually, a bit of an all-rounder, Sean Pollock. It'll be interesting to see how he plays the spinners now. Murali Dhiran is having an absolute ball out there, 5 for 68. So, here we go again. That one hooked away down towards the boundary, and it'll go for 4. Well, that's one of the few really loose balls that we've seen today. Dharmasena won't be very happy with that one. Ranatunga going down there to have a talk to him. Just a little chat. Don't try and do too much. Don't try and get frustrated just because Murali's getting all the wickets down the other end. That was very short, very bad delivery. All he needed was a little chat, and his captain of yesteryear was there to have a little whisper in his ear. Very frustrating for a spinner like Dharmasena, who's got 1 for 42 at one end. This is the wicket again. Notice how he goes back. It's the degree of spin, really. That's the great attribute that this little man has. How much is it going to spin? Is it going to spin in? Is it going to go straight through? Is it going to go away? And that's nicely played through the offside field. Beautiful shot. Again, a little bit too short. I think he's trying to bowl too fast. He's trying to make it happen, and now Dharmasena wants to field across on the other side. I don't think he wants to worry about that too much. That was a rank long hop. You cannot set fields for bad balls. So he just needs to settle down a little bit.
Dharmasena bowling 2 bad deliveries. Daryl Cullinan doing a good job. Just dispatching them to the boundaries. Batted confidently. It's made adjustment to the field.
So Murali Dhiran causing a nightmare for the South Africans, and the problem they're having is how do they pick which way it's spinning. Now just look at this. This is an overspin delivery. The ball spins over the top there. This is an off spinner. Let's watch Murali Dhiran here. Watch this one. That was a straight over. That was an over the top delivery. So when he spins the ball like this with his finger, that's going over the top. It's spinning over the top. That's an off spinner like that. And every now and again he gets it to go that way. Now just watch this ball coming out of his hand. Watch that. That's over the top. Now he's done that this way. Just show you what he did there. You can see the ball came out of his fingers actually like that. So that's his over the top ball spinning like that through the air. Came out of his fingers there. It's quite incredible. Really is a wonderful bowler. And as a batsman, you've got to try and pick how much it's going to spin, which way it's spinning. Good luck, Sean.
Again. Oh, well done. Getting close, Sharps. Come on. Keep it going. Keep it going.
Muttiah Muralidharan continuing the teasing flight, bringing Sean Pollock forward.
No ball called. Yes, he's taken 5 wickets in an innings 20 times in test matches. Quite an incredible performance by Muttiah Muralidharan. And of course, he's all on his own in terms of Sri Lankans. We had a little chat to him this morning and asked him how many times he'd taken 13 wickets or more in an innings, and he was very quick to tell me once. However, correct, in a test match, 13 wickets in a test match. Very quick to tell me once, but said, don't worry, it'll be twice shortly.
That's the confidence that Muttiah Muralidharan has. Sean Pollock pushing forward, quite tentatively confidently put his pad forward there. Good stretch.
Cullinan down the wicket and just up the side the reach of Muralidharan. Well, fortune favours the brave. Takes him up to 89 now. That was close.
Cullinan once again using his feet to advantage, coming down the wicket and prepared to take the aerial route. Just eluding the outstretched hands of Muralidharan. And what an effort again, this man. He's been bowling so much and picking up 4 runs in the process.
He's looking for that elusive 10 in a match. We know that. And he's into Cullinan. No ball bowled. And Cullinan just turns it round the corner quite easily. I don't think he got a bat on it. Yes, he did. Umpire signalling runs.
For a spinner, Muralidharan is one who has a few problems with that front foot of his. Just goes to show the amount of effort he gets into his deliveries. A bit of a long stride and looking to get on that front foot.
Miss it. That's the only danger. That's well played. It's turned around the corner and that'll run away. Zoysa's coming round after it. He'll have to make legs. Yeah, he does. And he does. Picks up 3. It's Cullinan, now 97.
Well, that was very nicely played by Cullinan. Getting across the line and nibbling at that, just turning the wrists around and doing it very fine. Very delicately played.
Sean Pollock, well, he plays this away on the offside. Convinced that is the kind of shot to play in the last delivery of the over. 197 for 6. Last delivery, just the pad. It's a sweep and it's in the air and that's out. Well, straight in the air. First sweep he's had. And it's gone straight down the throat of Dharmasena.
Here's some anxious moments for Pollock. Pollock was frustrated. He wasn't reading Muralidharan, and when that happens, it's usually the sweep that one employs, and Pollock picks it up well, but hits it in the air, and Dharmasena is there well in place. He picks it up well. So Pollock's gone, and a very important wicket for Sri Lanka, breaking the stand, which was getting threatening, and South Africa lose their 7th wicket for 198.
Be happy to see a left-hander walk in with the amount of spin being imparted here. This is the dismissal of Pollock. On the sweep, up she goes. Dharmasena had to cover quite a bit of ground. Good catch.
Give that one away.
Cullinan gets it round the corner and that'll be his 100. Well batted, Daryl Cullinan. That is a good innings. One of the best. Against all odds, he's carried the flag for South Africa. once again, and his teammates applaud him. Well batted, Darryl.
What a fine innings by Darryl Cullinan. 11 fours and a 6. A superb innings in the face of adversity, and that's really a sign of great character. He's now scored most Test centuries for South Africa, making it 11.
He's played a lone hand. He turns it around the corner. He's mixed caution and aggression. He's played well. He's fought hard, and he'll be happy with that.
Alison Cullinan added 56, but most of those runs were added yesterday. And today, just one partnership, 43 between Kloosner and Cullinan. That's a good shot. He's a good player of spin, Nicky Boye. Played some useful innings on the tour of India, and that's a good sweep shot. He swept it on length.
Dharmasena, the off-spinner, coming, angling into Nicky Boye, taking it right from that point. As it goes on length, nice roll of the wrist, keeping it down. Got enough bat on that one all the way down to the boundary.
Now just changing the angle a bit here, coming round the wicket to the left-hander. That's a lovely shot. Excellent use of his feet. Just goes to show that he's a confident player against spin bowling, Nicky Boye.
Good use of the feet, giving himself the room and getting the elevation required, going under that. Very good cricketing shot. He's not afraid to use the feet. Not a great spinner, Kumar Dharmasena, but he was right at the pitch of that one.
Yes, and he's got a wicket here, just as I said. Well struck by Nicky Boye, but Atapattu on that occasion made no mistake. That ball was travelling to him quickly. It was chest high, and the Sri Lankan captain has struck here.
Inviting Nicky Boye to drive a bit wide, and Boye drives, not being able to get on top of that one, and Marwan Atapattu, a good effort. Nicky Boye gone for 12, South Africa 213 for 8.
213 for 8. Paul Adams comes out to the middle. South Africa have lost their second wicket after lunch. Pollock was the first to go. Nicky Boye the next. And Paul Adams more on the side, as you can see from that graphic, for his bowling rather than batting. 29 against England is best. And this is the last man to be dismissed. Jayasuriya inviting the left-hander to drive there. The ball coming out of the rough, and Boye not able to keep it down. And a good catch by Atapattu. He dropped one earlier of Cullinan, but he made no mistake on that occasion. It's nicely played on the onside. He's got plenty of bat on it.
Murtharan having a go at that one, very wide. Straight into his pads, played well. Murtharan runs and pivots round and throws it.
Player of old, Alan Knott, who said to you that it was so difficult, more difficult than batting, concentration.
Oh, he's hit that one. This is out. It's in the air. This will be caught out. Yes, nicely taken at mid-on. Marwan Atapattu running around and taking that one, no trouble at all. That was a repeat of the shot that he tried to play a little while ago, trying to heave it over mid-wicket. You don't do that to a leg spinner. That's certainly not... well, hang on, that was a full toss, so perhaps you do try and do it, but you've got to try and hit it in the middle of the bat. He did, and unfortunately didn't quite succeed. It went straight up in the air, and unfortunately for Adams, that's the end of his innings. So Adams out for 4. And South Africa are now 223 for 9.
No, that's too late.
Kayandini is in his 5th Test match. An average of 9 with the bat. No centuries yet. And 4 not out is his best score against England at Leeds. Well, there's a big opportunity for him to improve on that. He's down at the non-striker's end now. Then what's Cullinan going to do here? I hope he doesn't do anything silly. He's got to just keep going. He's got to be not out in this test match. And we smashed that away. That's gone a long way down towards the boundary. Hasn't gone all the way. I think it may just have reached, or is it 4? Well, it was pretty close. The umpire's going to want... he's going to want us to have a look at that one. It was pretty close to the line. Very short delivery and beautifully dispatched. Have a look at it fly.
I think Cullinan hit that pretty well, but I don't think it's gone all the way. Just short of that line. Pretty difficult to heave that over mid-wicket off the back foot against the spin. He did well, though.
Yes, that's definitely a 4, no doubt about that. I don't know why it's taking that long. Oh, he's hit that one nicely, right over the top. And it's bounced away down to the boundary for 4. So, missed 2, hit 1 so far. And the one he hit very well.
Yes, he hits us in the middle, watches the ball. Got a bottom hand, over the top. He'll be happy with that. I think he makes his close to his top score.
Well, no, that one shot results in 4 runs, which equals his highest score. So, about to see a record broken here. Oh, I like it. That's it. It's going down to the boundary as well. He's doubled his best score. That's going to go to the fence for 4. Mackay Natini has doubled his best ever. He's now moved to 8.
Yes, 8 runs, and I'm sure that Greg Hayes will now certainly be a bit more, feel more comfortable. Taught him well to play the cut. And, product of the development system down in the Eastern Cape of South Africa. And he brought him through. Made his way back, fought hard.
That's well bowled and nicely taken, well taken. That's beautifully caught. So the question now is, has that been taken in time for them to take the drinks break as well as tea together? So the end of the innings, 238 all out.
Kaintini pushes forward and straight to Arjuna Ranatunga. Good catch, sharp. Chandana gets another wicket. End of the innings, and Kaintini, he's out for 8 caught. Ranatunga bowled Chandana. South Africa 238 all out.
Who made his highest score in Test match cricket today, doubled his 4, and he now has a top score of 8 in the Test match game. But have a look at that, Daryl Cullinan, all on his own, 114 not out. Unfortunately, from South Africa's point of view, in more ways than one, no one able to stay with him. And that from his point of view, and I think from South Africa's point of view, very, very disappointing. The partnerships, well, I think they speak for themselves there. You can see that there were quite a few mediocre sort of partnerships, lots of sort of, what are they, 30s and 40s, there's even a 50 there, 15s and 10s, but nothing really meaningful, and that's what they needed. They needed a few really good players to get stuck in together and put on some big partnerships the way the Sri Lankans did when they were batting. From a bowling point of view, well, go on, Salia, they are your men, talk us through.
Muthamur right up there, Chandana chipping in with 2, Sanat Jayasuriya getting that Boye wicket when they were looking to settle down. But Muthamur, a fantastic effort. He's come there, he's really tried on this wicket, and looking from the very first go, he said, I'm going to get in there with the wickets, and he did it. He did a good job, got the 2 wickets yesterday, and then coming in and chipping in with 4 today.
So that's the situation. The players are about to come out onto the ground, the batsmen are ready, no doubt, and in the commentary box, waiting, no doubt, to pick up the commentary, Ravi Shastri and Ranjit Fernando.
And nicely played off his legs by Kirsten. He'll get his first boundary here.
Well, Kirsten, he's so very good in that area. As soon as Vas pitched it there on the leg stump, it just whips it away. The timing, once again, absolutely perfect. And such a risky player, Kirsten. an Indo wicket here in the Southern Province.
That's firmly struck. Second boundary of the over. Fractionally over pitched from Vas, and Gary Kirsten has dealt with it in style.
So Kirsten, he's making his intentions clear. The South Africans not allowing the Sri Lankan bowlers to dominate in any way, and anything that's meant to be hit, they're taking advantage. So he's going to be in the action soon.
A loud shout here for leg before, but Daryl Harper isn't interested.
It was indeed a very good delivery, bring the batsman forward, but probably done a little bit.
I think a very good shout. Pitch just about in line. Oh, that's a good shot. He's really got stuck into that one. Got into great position to play the shot. And a boundary there to end the over. 20 for no loss.
That was neatly played. That's going to give him a lot of confidence.
Then the last over here. Short delivery from Zoysa. And Mackenzie getting into good position, rolling his wrist, keeping the ball down, and playing it away from that man at backward square leg.
Yes, this pitch could be very unforgiving to the short one.
41 overs bowled by Muthamar Rudran. There'll be a long ball for him in the second innings as well.
Oh, and off the edge and down, and well, I think he got a finger on it, Arjuna Ranatunga, but that was about it. He went straight down, no chance of a catch. Really got a bit of protection on one of those fingers, and that one very difficult. You can notice the ball going down there and through the slip cordon for 4.
Mackenzie almost following the delivery outside his body. The ball hitting the deck and seaming away. Arjuna Ranatunga trying to gather that one. Just got a finger on that one. That trickled all the way down.
This time of year, prawns plentiful as well. That's nicely played, straight down the ground for 4. Well, that's brought a few runs after a lull in the scoring of runs for a while. 7 runs in 7 overs, and then this one.
It's a bit over pitch there by Dharmasena, and Mackenzie going straight through, getting the placement nice, straight as ever, all the way down to the line, breaking the monotony of just a lot of dot balls with that boundary.
That's into the gap as well. That's nicely played. He's used his feet well on that one. Gone with the spin. It's running away down towards... This is a very fast outfield. That's gone all the way for 4. Almost looked as if it gathered speed, which is impossible, but it certainly didn't slow down much. Lovely shot.
Totally on that boundary. Lara Fernando making the chase, the substitute for Sanat Jayasuriya. Really came down well and got it right from the middle of the bat. Placement nice. And got to be careful.
That's nicely driven. He got to the pitch of the ball and he's found the gap on the offside. That's a good stroke from Gary Kirsten here.
A classical drive from Kirsten, square, bends the back knee, nice and square. That is a trademark shot from Gary Kirsten.
He's always leaning into it. 27, he gets his 3rd boundary.
On the ball. Waiting.
So the 50 partnership coming up here between the two with that single. Still 233 runs behind. And again the cover drive. This time it's gone a lot squarer. The result is the same. We saw Kirsten playing a similar shot in the last over from Chandana.
Once again, a square drive from Kirsten, and if he finds the gap, it's 4. There's nobody out there. The lead that Sri Lanka have can afford to attack. Happy for players to play the shot. Give a couple of boundaries away, but if they can make a breakthrough, we'll be happy. Kirsten moves on to 33 now.
That's gone past the outside edge, has it? Top spinner from Chandana. That foxed Gary Kirsten. That was excellently bowled.
That was the one that went straight on, and that was, well, that was perilously close to that off stump. Superb delivery. Kirsten not picking it. Squares him up.
And he's dropped it this time. On that occasion, the edge was taken. One just got the feeling that Sangakkara was grabbing at it.
Sangakkara upset with that. He rode it, and it got stuck in the glove. Actually got stuck in the webbing, and as he moved his hand, it fell out.
Yeah, that's bad luck. Arjuna Ranatunga has taken the catch here. That's the second catch he's taken of Chandana today. But South Africa have lost their first wicket in the second innings. Good delivery from Chandana. He had the batsman groping forward.
Very good delivery here. Pitched on off stump. He had to play it. He plays it very low. Fancy the ball before it undid him. Well taken by Arjuna Ranatunga. And Mackenzie then out for 25. South Africa now 58 for 1.
So Jack Hullis comes out to bat here. South Africa have just lost a wicket in their second innings. Chandana finally being rewarded. There was a drop chance in his previous over. But all eyes on Callis now. Quality player, averaging over 40.
Bowling.
Jacques Callis, he's a good, classy player. This is the dismissal. Goes straight to Ranatunga, nice and low, and to his left. That's well taken.
Short delivery, pulled away down to the boundary for 4. You can't afford to bowl loose balls to Gary Kirsten. Once he gets set, he becomes a danger man, and he's very good at punishing the loose ball. That one right off the middle of the bat.
Oh, this pitch can be very unforgiving on the short delivery, and Gary Kirsten giving it the punishment it deserves. So a lot of open areas around mid-wicket.
Oh, and that's very well bowled too. That one bouncing, it was the other delivery. It was an overspin delivery.
This really is turning out to be some clever bowling by Muralidharan. A wry smile from Ranatunga. Just hit past him. Straight to delivery. Just look at that. Just taking it off the stumps, and Ranatunga.
Short delivery, and once again pulled away down towards the boundary for 4. So Kirsten taking advantage of those short deliveries. Every now and again he gets one, and he gets on top of it, smashes it away.
He's had the cap, the back of his mind always, and as soon as Muralidharan drops it short, he's been aiming in that direction and makes it good once again. Kirsten has been putting the bad balls away for boundaries, and
I think that's a bit optimistic. We'll come back and have a look at it in a moment. It's 72 for 1. Yes, just have a look at this one. It looked as if Muralidharan got quite excited here, but once again the ball pitching outside leg stump. Only just, mind you, and had it pitched on line, well, that would have been very adjacent. Worth having another look at that. It's no wonder Muralidharan got quite excited about it. It was only just pitched outside the leg stump. A very good decision in the circumstances, but just have a look how fine the line is. Here we go. That one pitching, look at that. It spun back, he let it go, and of course up he went. Everyone asked the question there. They all got quite excited about it. Oh, big appeal there. That would have been pretty close. Well, it probably spun a little bit too much. His leg is quite a long way forward. Let's see if we can pick it up. It looked as if it pitched on the stumps. Well, maybe just outside, but you can see they're probably hitting the stumps. Let's see where it pitches. Here we go again. This is going to be pitching quite straight. Yes, it pitched on middle, didn't it? Did it spin just a little bit too much? Ooh, very, very close. Go down the wicket he goes. He's hit that one straight down the ground. Well, that's a frustrating, a frustrated shot, I think. He was bogged down there, Callis. 37 balls for 2 runs. Now he's hit a 4. End of the over, 76 for 1.
The Sri Lankan spinners using his feet and then going the aerial route and picking up 4 runs. That would give Callis some amount of confidence. He's not been finding it easy to pick up runs.
This partnership is not broken. Again, a good blow here from Callis. That's the second time he's done that. And that's a good positive hit. Have to wait and see if this is 6, because just for a moment it looked as if it went all the way. Lovely use of his feet. Good straight hit here. And may have landed just inside the boundary line. So another boundary here for Callis.
It's a good confident shot by Jack Callis. Went right through with that one. Did that in the previous over as well. Just short of the line. Other than for Chandana, both Dharmasena and Muthaya Muridharan really not looking penetrative. Dharmasena maintained a good line and length.
And Callis again using his feet, this time against the off spinner. 1 bounce over the boundary line. So this is more like the Callis we know, playing his natural game.
Good positive blow from Jack Callis. Down the wicket and over mid-on. Clearing the infield and all the way down to the boundary. So.
And another lovely shot to end the over. This is good batting by Jack Callis. He's not allowing the bowler to dictate terms to him. 93 for 1. It's confident shots from Callis in the last over. This is the last ball of the previous over. Good straight hit. Callis scored 2 of his first 37 balls. He scored 17 of the next 13 he's faced. That's a good shot. Enough time to rock back onto that back foot and find the gap on the offside. Kirsten moving on to 49 with that boundary.
Short. Giving himself the time to get over it and play it into the wicket cover region all the way down to the line. Just waited on that one nicely.
Oh, that one stayed low, but Kirsten will get his half century up. That's gone off the bottom edge. So fighting innings here from Gary Kirsten. 108 for 1.
So fantastic half century by Gary Kirsten. A gritty one, a gutsy one.
So Gary Kirsten reaching his 50 in the last over. 7 boundaries in this innings. This one staying really low, and Kirsten getting the bottom edge there. Shooting along the deck there after pitching. So the partnership also worth 50. So you can see Jack Callis took his time early on, but he's definitely got to move on. as his innings has progressed. It's some bold shots against the off-spin of Dharmasena. And a mix-up here, there could be a run out. Now this could be tragedy for South Africa. Gary Kirsten can't believe it. He's looking at Callis. The Sri Lankans believe they've got their man.
Totally unnecessary by the South Africans. Bit of misunderstanding. A quick return by Was. And Gary Kirsten's out of the picture. What a disaster.
This is a terrible end. He had concentrated so hard. Sent back by Callis here. There never seemed to be a second run. And he is way short of his ground. A good couple of yards short of his ground. So Sri Lanka got the second wicket. Very dejected Gary Kirsten here, making his way back to the pavilion. He's out for 55, 112 for 2. Sri Lanka couldn't have asked for anything better. Last over of the day, a wicket falling down here, and it's not a spin bowler who's picked it up. It's come by way of a run out.
Well, a tragic end to the day. Gary Kirsten being run out unnecessarily, trying to get the 2. He was out for 55, and Jacques Callis still there on 25. South Africa 1-1-2 for 2. Partnerships, the first one brought 58 runs between Kirsten and Mackenzie, a good one. But then Kirsten and Callis, they went for 54 in their partnership, and as I said, tragic end for Kirsten being run out. And they're bowling for Sri Lanka. Vas and Zoysa, they toiled, opened the bowling, didn't get any wickets. Dharmasena didn't get a wicket. Muralidharan hasn't struck yet. Chandana got the 1 wicket, and of course the run out. Well, the match situation at the moment, South Africa really with their backs to the wall. There's no way back, I foresee here, and it's going to be a tough day for tomorrow. So South Africa 2 wickets down already, only 8 in the bag, and all to play for. See you tomorrow.
Oh, he's toppled it. That's got him.
Well, another beautiful day at the Galle Stadium. The wind blowing across the ground, it's hot and humid, and South Africa with their backs to the wall. There's no doubt they've got all to play for and to try and bat for 2 days. The status of the game at the moment, well, 522 first innings by Sri Lanka. Jay Surya climbed in and so did Jawadina. South Africa then batted 238 all out with Cullinan scoring 114. They were asked to bat again. South Africa 112 for 2. Kirsten got run out, tragically last ball of the night. South Africa now 172 runs needed to make Sri Lanka bat again. And a real tough time, and we pick it up in the first over with Muralidharan bowling to Callis.
It's Muralidharan early on.
Well, shouts of catch it here, they all go up. But the man who matters the most, that's Daryl Harper, he's not interested.
Well, a big shot here. Ball went short leg. Just have a close look. I don't think he got anything on it. Callis's bat is in front of his pad, so there's a good chance if it does nick the bat to make. Happens so quickly.
That's a positive blow from Callis. Down the track, over the top. And the first boundary of the morning.
Well, Jacques Callis, he's going to mix aggression and caution, no doubt. He's seen a lot from the first innings when Cullinan took them on. Down the wicket he goes, over the top, feet in the right position. Good clean hit, forcing the man back now.
He looks to take the aerial route, he didn't quite time it. In the end, ended up dragging it towards the mid-wicket area. There is no mid-wicket. So another couple of runs, but he's once again looking to be very positive here, Cullinan.
Yes, fortune favours the brave at times, and just not at the pitch. But he's got good enough eyesight at the moment, enough touch to know where the ball is, even if probing away. Some big spin occasionally.
Short, and it's got the treatment. He does play that shot very well, Daryl Cullinan. He's a good cutter and puller.
Well, this one a real gimme. Half tracker, just sits up. Cullinan can put it anywhere he likes. Calm ball there. Gerald Cullinan mishit it.
That's cut away nicely. And a misfield on the boundary. Shaminda Vas was the fielder there. He took his time coming down. And that was enough for the ball to go past the boundary line.
His Carlos hit it powerfully. And, well, a regulation pickup on the boundary. That's just poor fielding. This is how not to do it. But Vasi is a fast bowler. And in the mornings, these fast bowlers are a little bit stiff. Kirsten will be looking at that saying, why didn't he field like that when I was running?
That's up in the air. He could be out caught here. He's holed out here, Callis. Chandana has struck. Muralidharan the catcher. And South Africa have lost their first wicket of the morning.
So Muralidharan gets in on the act again. Chandana struck. Callis tries to sweep it. It's too wide outside the off stump. He's sweeping against that spin. The length was good. Difficult to keep down. And South Africa, well, they lose an important wicket of Callis. He's gone for 40. South Africa 139 for 3.
So Jonty Rhodes has come out to the centre. Over 2,000 runs at an average of 35 300s. He'll need to play a special innings here if South Africa have to have any chance of saving this game. They've just lost a wicket, that of Callis.
As Callis goes on the sweep, and the ball just bounces towards slip. A little bit more than he expected, I fancy. And he's got the top edge. Simple catch for Muralidharan.
Up they go, and he's out. That's the end of Cullinan. Well, Arnold making the catch there. It looked to me to be a good one too. He handles the spinners very well, Cullinan. He tries to keep it down, and that was well, it was a dive from the silly point, went right across the front of Cullinan. Let's see if we can pick up the deflection. There we go. You can see it hardly goes anywhere, and what a good catch. Oh, beautifully taken. Arnold in fingertip, right at the end of his fingers, he's got it and holds it up, and boy, there's celebration out there because that's the wicket they wanted. He made an undefeated 100 in the first innings, and unfortunately now Cullinan out for 12 off 30 deliveries. South Africa slump to 141 for 4. Lance Klusener is the new batsman. He's got a batting average of 35. He's played in 30 test matches. He's developed a fair bit of experience now, and it'll be interesting to see whether he can live up to his reputation. Obviously played some tremendous one-day cricket. He's a big hero in South Africa. This is the dismissal again. Look how he tries to smother this and keep it down on the pitch. He closes the face in an effort to do that, but it bounces up, and what a catch. Look at this fingertip stuff, wonderfully taken.
That really indeed was a great catch by Arnold. One really has to stay close by, particularly as there's not much bounce, and just keep an eye on Arnold. The fingers, the ball's just standing out there, and what a great catch.
Yes, good angle, wasn't it? You could see how Cullinan was trying to smother the ball there, just couldn't keep it down. There goes that sweep shot again. And that might go for 4. That's gone for 4. That's very well played by Jonty Rhodes. He picks his spot, decided to go a little finer that time and got it away off the middle of the bat. This is lovely cricket. This is a shot that, when played well, can be very helpful in conditions like this.
He plays it so well, Jonty Rhodes, getting that foot right in front of the ball and getting his wrist nicely over it, keeping it along the ground. And that's what makes it so effective, particularly on a pitch like this, which has quite a bit of turn.
Hit that one in the air and wide of the fieldsman. Well, that was a mishit, really. Just a little bit lucky. Klusener, of course, if he really does hit it in the middle of the bat, it does stay hit. That time wasn't quite there. And lucky to get away with that one. 152 for 4.
One more now.
Just watch this. Smash it away now. This is the short leg, obviously, as he goes to hit that. You can imagine the plight of a short leg with Klusner there. So much good work for India. And that's it. That's out. Caught behind. Nice catch too. The ball bouncing a little bit. That's the end of Klusner. He didn't pick the bouncy ball. He was playing for the off spin. It was too close to him to cut. Nicely taken by Sangakkara as well. I think he's measured up, this young man, as keeper. It's tough for him. Just watch this. The overspin delivery. It goes straight through. It gets the top edge. He's read it beautifully, Sangakkara. Sure, he caught it in the fingertips, but he caught it. That's what matters. And look at the smile on Mathia Muralidharan's face. Up goes the finger, and South Africa have lost yet another one.
Yes, Sangakkara's fingers were in the right place, and Lance Klusner, he's gone. South Africa lose their 5th wicket for 153.
So Boucher, the new batsman, he was out for a duck in the first innings. He's been a fighter over the years, Mark Boucher. He's made some very useful runs when the South Africans have had their backs to the wall. You can see an average of over 30. Does a very good job as a wicketkeeper. Definitely a wicketkeeper batsman. So a form of all-rounder. As soon as the batting of a side is stretched, of course, we refer to them as all-rounders. That one there hitting the outside edge, and well, he did well, didn't he, really, because he was going up. So watching it staying right back that time and pushing it down into the ground.
Yes, Sangakkara, he's had a good day. Certainly not the easiest of pitches to keep on.
That one's played nicely away on the onside into the gap, and back for the second.
So Mark Boucher, he'll be looking to make amends. He certainly will have to read this pitch a little better.
Well, I'm just getting a little bit too caught up with a sweep shot there. That wasn't quite there for it. Perhaps he misread it. The leg by signalled he was way outside the line.
Yes, Jonty Rhodes has been looking at that area around mid-wicket. It's quite vacant. But again, ball coming through much slower than what he expected. Yeah.
Oh, well ball.
That's nicely played. All the way along the ground into the gap on the onside. Back for 2. That's the end of the over. 159 for 5. Before the start of play here, that this would go through the top. It's actually held together quite well. Sure, it's spun a lot, but that's the way of the wickets in this part of the world. That's nicely played down towards the deep mid-wicket boundary. And what a good throw.
Big shot from everybody around the bat except the bowler. He's got a smile. He knows that the amount of turn he gets, pretty difficult to get a decision. Certainly on this wicket, well outside.
I think
Can't make a decision there, Solia.
I think the appeal was really for the factor that he didn't play a shot.
Well, he's given him. It was right full on the front foot. Didn't bounce. And he didn't offer a shot. It's the end of Boucher.
The early delivery, Boucher did not play a stroke at all. Padded at that one, and that one may have been the straighter one. We never know. It was hitting and spinning. But not played a shot there by Mark Boucher. That was in the mind of the umpire. In his opinion, it would have been hit the wicket, and he's sent Boucher back on his way. Boucher out for 7. South Africa in deep trouble, 163 for 6.
Well, the new batsman in, the captain, Sean Pollock. 43 matches, got a good average. His scores against Sri Lanka. He hasn't got 100 yet. But he can play, and he's got his work cut out now. Get something out of this test. First delivery to him, a lot of shouting, and that ends the over. 163 for 6. Pollock down the wicket, misses it, and so does Sangakkara. Well, you can't expect him to take everything. It really turned a lot. Pollock chancing his arm.
But as you said, he was looking to go over the top. He was going to mix the aggression and missing it totally, coming down the track. Really, Kumar Sangakkara getting inside edge as well. So I think I really couldn't blame Kumar Sangakkara for that.
He knows, had he not got that inside edge, he would have fancied to have had a stumping. Pollock once again cuts a straight one, gets a bottom edge, bounce a little bit inconsistent. Moving dangerously is Pollock. End of the over, 166 for 6. The last delivery, see it, straight one, just deviates slightly to the off stump. Pollock gets across, tries to cut it. You always cut Muralidharan with a little bit of interpretation. You know that it could be the big spinner if you're not reading it. Be so careful. And it's totally against the psyche of you're under pressure. And, they've got to get it right for the next test match. That's a lovely shot from Rhodes. Down the wicket to the pitch. Nicely balanced. Finds the gap. Good over for South Africa. 173 for 6. Rhodes down the wicket, full toss. He makes it into and puts it away beautifully. That's good cricket. Nice and quick down the wicket.
Very positive approach by Jonty Rhodes. Straight down the wicket, quickly onto that one. Taking it on the full. Getting his placement perfect. All the way down to the boundary. Nice yard there for Muralidharan, but Jonty Rhodes quickly onto that one.
Now Muralidharan will have to be careful. He's seen that Rhodes runs down the wicket pretty quickly, so that one thrown up nice and high outside the off stump, and Pollock's up to it. It's full, so he can drive it with a little amount of risk. Hits it beautifully. Brings a welcome 4 for Pollock.
Really nicely onto the front foot there. Nice lunge, nice straight follow through. Really shot, nice balance.
Pollock on 9. Rhodes ticking it along. That's some nice shots off Muralidharan the last over. He's on 25. Chandana to continue. Bowling to Rhodes, who's been sweeping him pretty well. Down the wicket again as Rhodes finds the gap through mid-on, nice and straight.
Taking the bowler on once again, Jonty Rhodes. Not afraid to come down the track. Getting it on the full, and once again to between the bowler and the mid-on, all the way down to the line. So he's been very positive out there, played some very good sweep shots. On occasions willing to come down, take the bowler on. He's really been playing from this crease.
It's a good shot from Pollock. Gives himself room. Short from Muralidharan. Muralidharan's also anticipating that maybe Pollock will look to come down at him. He's not going to give him too much air. He did so just now, and Rhodes did it.
Also the fact that Pollock and Cullinan, when they start shuffling across, you see him shuffling right across, it really makes the bowler has to try and make adjustments, and when you're getting the bowler to do different things, he doesn't fall into a set pattern, no rhythm that he can really settle down into.
And that one a big shout, and he's given out, and Pollock looks up to the heavens. He can't believe it. Muralidharan has got number 10, and Daryl Harper makes the decision. It's the end of Sean Pollock.
Sean Pollock not happy at all. I really felt that bat was nowhere near that delivery. See the ball really come down straight onto the pad, the bat behind the pad. Did it touch the glove on the way up? That's the only thing that the umpire had to think about. That's the only one, but I felt the that was way behind. So I really didn't feel, couldn't really say if he touched a glove on the way off. But Sean Pollock's gone for 12. South Africa deeper in trouble, 193 for 7. So Nicky Boye has joined Jonty Rhodes, age of 27, 3 matches, high score of 85. Need to get a few runs here. Batted quite confidently in the first innings. And he's here because Sean Pollock was given out bad pad. That really straight on the pad. Only wonder if he get the glove on the way up. Umpire Darrell Harper feeling that it did. Couldn't say from that angle. Harper quite confident about that one. Sean Pollock too very disappointed. You see the side one. Gets the pad on there. And on the way up, did he touch the glove? There's a lot of gap there. There's a lot of air between, and Sean Pollock's very unfortunate to be given out there. We have Ravi Shastri joining in the commentary box. No way did that touch the glove. Sean Pollock's gone. Very disappointed. He's doing a good job out there with Jonty Rhodes. Ravi, along with Ranjit Fernando.
Thank you, Salia. Yes, I think Pollock a little unfortunate. There was a noise, but I think the bat hit something rather than the ball touching something. That's a good shot from Rhodes. Good use of his feet. Got as close to the pitch of the ball as possible. Smothered the spin and hammered it through covers.
Oh yes, in adversity, Jonty Rhodes, he's been very, very impressive. Once again, showing how spin could be played on a pitch like this. Getting up to the pitch of Muralidharan. There's a wide open space at that extra cover region, and he's picked it. Exploited up.
Now there's no gully. That's pass slip. And Zoysa will not cut it off.
Zoysa, he's been having a few problems chasing some of those shots around the boundaries, but boy, that would give him some sort of pleasure, having a few runs under his belt.
And that's why you can play these shots. So Rhodes dealing in boundaries at the moment. 209 for 7. Now this is the last ball of the previous over. Enough time for Rhodes to bang that over mid-wicket.
You can also see that Dharmasen has got hardly any turn, and the bounce is also just right.
Oh, the top spinner. That surprised even Sangakkara. Difficult to take these balls, especially when they hit the top of the pads. There is a big deflection. You're too close to it.
Yes, particularly when it comes off the flap, and Sangakkara, he's been having a rough time. Certainly, straight away in the deep end in his first test match, he scoped well.
Now that's swept square. He plays that shot well. Even though it's against the turn, he backs himself to play the shot.
Getting his pad right in front and sweeping along the ground.
Now he's got that fine and into the boundary. Played that late, used Jayasuriya's pace and kept the ball away from the man at point.
Oh, that would have given Boyer some joy. Got into nice position and cracked it away.
That's his half century. Very well played too. Jonty Rhodes. Oh, and there's a misfield down there. Well, every now and again he does it, doesn't he? Yuan Zoysa. And once again, misfielding. So that's well played by Jonty Rhodes. It's a half century for him. 6 fours in that half century, and he's received 88 balls.
Trademark shot from Rhodes to bring up his 50. Good sweep, gets over the top of it. It's a good innings from Rhodes. It'll certainly help him. And Nguyen Zoysa, well, he's looking for the handle. It's on the shiny side, Nguyen. No, we didn't, and that one runs away. I think he'll be byes. Just turned too much.
Byes signalled. All round and the end of the over. 2:41 for 7. This morning, I don't know whether you had a look at the net this morning, Pat, but all those raids on cricketers, and well, that one's pulled away nicely. That's a good shot down towards the boundary, and that's 4 runs. Lovely shot. That was a bit short. Chandana might be getting just a little bit tired too. Let's have another look at this shot.
He drops it short and to the left-hander. It goes with the spin, so it's an easy put away. Almost killed short leg. I'm sure he'll be having a word with him. Might just keep it pitched up. Gets on top of it, climbs into it, and that brings up the 50 partnership. So starting to blossom for South Africa.
Mathai Murali-Riddhan deciding to go to the other side of the stumps. Let's see how close he gets here. Oh, he's in about the middle. That's a short delivery, pulled away down towards mid-wicket. This is a fast outfield. That'll go for 4. Yes, that's not a very good length, and that won't encourage him too much. It's 2:54 for 7. That's that short delivery from Murali-Riddhan outside off stump. Yes, it's the sort of thing that doesn't give him too much confidence. He doesn't bowl many short deliveries, and when he changes something like this, where he goes round the wicket, and then he ends up bowling a short ball, it's the sort of thing that will force him back over the wicket almost immediately.
Yes, I think Murali-Riddhan has done his time for now. I think he's getting a bit tired, and there's no doubt that Jayasuriya should, in my mind, be looking to bring on one of his seamers.
It's going to be close. Up goes the finger. It seemed that there was an error in judgment here from Nicky Boy. Now, what's interesting to see is if this ball would have ended up hitting the stumps, because there seemed to be some turn here, and I just get the feeling he's unlucky. The mat's not out as yet. The ball was spinning. There was always a doubt that it might have missed off stump, but watch where it pitches.
Look at the ball. If it pitched outside the leg stump, Nicky Boy is gone. Umpire Peter Manu has decided a very good innings. Out for 35. South Africa 263 for 8.
No, an umpire's job isn't easy. He's taken 5 wickets in an innings 21 times. Having said that, you have a better chance of watching where the ball pitches when a slow bowler is bowling, rather than when a fast bowler, because you don't have that much of time. Murali has the loop as well. That's up in the air, but wide of the man there, short fine leg.
Jonty Rhodes rolls on. He's moved on to 60. Got the majority of runs with that sweep shot on that occasion, getting to the top edge, but clear of the fielder.
He's one of the better players who spin in this South African side. Adams off the mark.
Gently hit there by Paul Adams, a full toss, just getting the placement.
South Africa need another 18 runs to make Sri Lanka bat again. So what's Rhodes going to do now? He'll be aware of the fact that he might run out of partners here. So not only will he be trying to farm the strike, but try and score as many runs as possible. Now he's played that into a huge gap on the offside. And he settles for 2. He wants to keep the strike.
with that extra cover region open there. Coming down, taking it on the full. Nice placement. It's good effort there by the fielder, drawing it back. Jonty Rhodes was quite happy just for the 2 runs. Keep the strike there.
He's cleaned him up here. Looking for the big drive through a big gap on the offside. In the end, just finding thin air. The ball sneaks through. South Africa have lost their 9th wicket. Muralidharan has picked up his 12th.
Going to have a big heave at that one. Paul Adams going right through the gate. And Muralidharan picks up his 6th wicket.
So Adams departs. Another wicket for Muralidharan. 12 in the match. He's out for 2. 269 for 9. So Makaya Ntini is the last man out there for the South Africans. Still 16 runs required. 15 in fact required for Sri Lanka to bat again. And the last man to go was Paul Adams.
Quite an ambitious stroke there.
And another one in identical fashion. 13 wickets in the match for the champion off-spinner. Muralidharan has finished this innings in a hurry. Wickets of consecutive balls. And Sri Lanka have won this test match by an innings and 15 runs. It's their first victory over the South Africans in test match cricket. And it's come in this fashion.
Dragging him on the front foot, ball spinning back. Muthambaran hitting the spot, and the Sri Lankans have won this test match by 15 runs in an innings. Ntini getting the duck. But the feature had been Jonty Rhodes, who made a 63, fighting 63.
So delighted Muralidharan. Sri Lanka have had it all their way in this test match. They won the toss, decided to bat 522 on the board. They bundled out South Africa for 238 in their first innings, and then in the second innings 269 all out. So Sri Lanka win their first test match against South Africa by an innings and 15 runs. And that's how South Africa finished. 269, 55 to Gary Kirsten. The top scorer in the innings, Jonty Rhodes. He played well. That would have been good practice for him. Used his feet well, used the sweep shot to good effect, but otherwise no real contributors. I thought Nicky Boy played well for his 35, and he was unfortunate to be given out leg before. And what South Africa needed didn't happen. They needed partnerships. 58 for the first wicket, and then the highest 70 between Rhodes and Boye. So not a single 3-figure partnership for them, and that really was the problem. They couldn't really stretch the Sri Lankans. The Sri Lankan bowling, the star, Muthiah Muralidharan. 35 overs, 5 maidens, 7 for 84. Outstanding figures. He was well supported by Upul Chandana. 2 for 88. So that's how the match has ended here. 522 all out Sri Lanka. South Africa in the first innings 238. In the second innings 269 all out. Sri Lanka winning by an innings and 15 runs. I'd first like to ask Sean Pollock to come up please and collect 15,000 rupees and a silver plaque from the Honourable Prasanna Ranatunga, the Vice President of the Board of Control for Cricket in Sri Lanka. Well, Sean, bad luck, but on the first day itself, once you lost the toss and Sri Lanka had put up that big score on the board, you were in trouble.
Yes, once they got a big score, it was always going to be difficult. I thought they played very well. We were outplayed in this game, and we just got to go away, try and think of all the positives that come out of the game, and regroup and come back hard in the next test.
Now, you've not played Test cricket for the last 3 or 4 months. It's not easy to combat a turning ball, especially when you have a champion bowler like Muralidharan.
Yes, I think he bowled well. Anyone who gets 13 wickets in the Test match deserves to win the Test match. So I thought he bowled nicely, and we'll have to try and combat him, as I say, in the next few tests. But we have got things to work on, and it has been a while since we've played, but we're not trying to hide behind anything.
Yes, you've got a 6-day gap now. You guys will have to show a lot of character to bounce back in the series.
Well, that's what South Africans are usually about. We always try and show character, and I know the guys will be back and looking to restore a bit of pride in South African cricket when we get out in the field next time around.
But for the positives for South Africa, good innings by Cullinan in the first innings and then Rhodes in the second.
Yes, I thought Daryl batted awesomely well to come in here and get 100. He does enjoy batting against the Sri Lankans, so hopefully his form continues. And then I thought Jonty played very well. Nicky Boyer played nicely too, and lucky to get out the way he did. But as I say, those are the positives we can build on.
Well, good luck for the next test in Kandy, Sean.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Sean Pollock there, the captain of the South African team. And now I'd like to ask Sanat Jayasuriya, please, to come up and collect a cash award of 50,000 rupees from the Honourable Minister, Mr. Mahinda Wijesekhara, the Minister of Forestry and Environment. He'll also get a silver plaque. 50,000 rupees for taking a 1-0 lead in the series. Well, Sanat, the disappointments of Pakistan are behind you now. 1-0 start, that's just what you wanted.
Yeah, because we won the one-day series and the players got a lot of confidence after winning the one-day series, and they played well in goal, and we got a big score in 522 runs, and the bowlers bowled well, Murali and Upul Chandana.
Well, everything went to plan. You won the toss, you led from the front with that innings of 148, but did you think you'll get your first win against South Africa that easily?
Winning against South Africa is not easy, always tough, but I think all the players have played very hard cricket right throughout, and Murali bowled well, and Upul Chandana and Mahela got 167, and it helps us a lot because 520 is a big score, and the bowlers bowled well.
Now, Jayawardena, he was due for a big score. He's not really done justice to his potential in the past, but this is an invaluable innings.
Yeah, you know, everybody knows Mahela is a very good, talented cricketer, and everybody expecting him to get a big score, and he did it in goal, and everybody is happy, and all the team players are happy, and we need a big score to win a test match, and everybody scored well in this game.
Well, and now on Muthaiya, it's a turning track, but he's still got to be a very good bowler to pick up 13.
I think Murali has been one of the best off spinners for me in the world, and he bowls superbly in this innings, first innings and the second innings. And I think Murali needed 3 days rest after he bowled so much.
Okay, well done, Sanat, today, and good luck for the test in Kandy.
Thank you, Ravi.
Sanat Jayasuriya there, the winning captain. Sri Lanka have taken a 1-0 lead in this Singer Test series. And now the Man of the Match award. I happen to be the adjudicator, and my job was pretty simple. Some good performances in this game, but I can already see the wide eyes of Muralidharan looking at me. Well, he's my man of the match. Muthaiya Muralidharan, the man of the match. 15,000 rupees for him. And he'll collect the award from Mr. Vasanta Vijayamane. Well, Murali, you've taken 16 wickets in a test match. This is the 4th time you've taken 10 wickets in an innings. 13, excellent.
Yeah, I'm very happy I took 13 wickets, and main thing is we got 522 runs, then very easy to bowl after that.
Now, how difficult is it to really bowl on a turning track? Because you're a big spinner of the ball, you've got to really adjust the amount you can turn the ball and what line you bowl, but you're used to it.
Yeah, because you have to mainly you have to bowl line and length, because if you don't bowl line and length, then you have to put pressure on batsmen. I think I did that.
Now, as a spinner, how important a role does patience play?
Yeah, you have to be very patient, because if you try to attack every time, then you go for runs, then automatically batsman will get set. So I think you have to be patient game.
Now, this delivery of yours, the top spinner, which you yourself say that you worked very hard on. You took almost a year and a half to really practice it and bowl it. But on this track, you got it to go away from the right-hander too.
Yeah, because it's a spinning wicket, and it's very slow, because I think if he had more bounce, I would have taken more wickets on straight balls.
Now, we know that you enjoy getting a batsman out, especially through the gate, making him drive through the offside. Which wicket gave you the most enjoyment here?
Every wicket.
You're a greedy man, aren't you? Every wicket?
Yeah.
Well, good luck for the next test match. It's in your hometown, Kandy.
Okay, thanks.
Muthaiya Muralidharan there, the man of the match. Tremendous performance, 13 wickets for 171 runs. That's the 4th time he's taken 10 or more wickets in an innings. And now there's a special award here today. It's for Arjuna Ranatunga. He's announced his retirement at the end of the series, but this is his last test match in Galle, and there's a special trophy given to him here by Jayanda Varnavira, the chief of the ground here at Galle. Arjuna Ranatunga, a special hand for him for his last test match here. It's an appreciation for his invaluable service for Sri Lankan cricket. A very senior player. And a good award for him. Well, that, I'm afraid, is all from the presentation area. We hope you've enjoyed the entertainment over the last 3.5 days of cricket. We look forward to your company again in 6 days' time, the 2nd test match of the Singer series. That'll be in Kandy on the 30th. Until then, from all of us here in Galle, it's goodbye.